The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
The big majority has not been able to.
Right. Well, I guess, and I would just remind people that the coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it, and we have a lot of things we have to do. There's a housing bill that's awaiting action, hopefully a market structure bill, possibly permitting reform, farm bill, highway bill. You can go right down the list. Russia sanctions, there are a whole bunch of things that could be teed up for action on the floor of the Senate. And so you have to make some judgments, and the conference will have a conversation about that. I've committed to that we will talk about that idea and determine whether or not what the conference's views are about it and how they want to proceed. As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time with not only unlimited debate, but also unlimited amendments.
All right, rather we had the Senate majority.
So Senator Thune, the majority leader of there, of course, talking about the filibuster. That's our poll question for today. This is a hot one, and I'm interested in how y'all feel about this. I'm going to open the phones here in a little bit to get your thoughts on the filibuster. The question we're posing to you today, and we're going to take your thoughts on it through text message, chat messages, and also through phone calls. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Here are your options for the day. Get rid of it completely. Now, there are people who have advocated for the filibuster to just completely be nuked. And a lot of times, the reason why that is presented is because they feel as though immediately you're going to see President Trump specifically has said this before, but so have many other people in Congress have said, as soon as the Democrats get in there, they're going to get rid of it completely, and then they're going to do everything that you could think that they're going to do, including adding states to the union.
They're on lock, stock, and barrel, and the Democrats will never vote on it because the Republicans should get that through. And you know how you get it through? The filibuster. Get rid of the filibuster and start voting. Yes.
So President Trump saying there, get rid of the filibuster, start voting. Senator Thune, however, is saying when it comes to the SAVE Act, which is that portion that is really being pushed, was kind of being thrown into the funding bill that ended up getting passed yesterday. The president signed it in order to reopen the government. So the government shutdown part 2 is behind us now. For a minute there, you saw some conservatives in the House say, nope, we want to add the SAVE Act to our pressure on this particular issue. And yesterday we played a clip for you from Representative Burchett and Luna, who are saying that they had a conversation with Senator Thune, the majority leader in the Senate. And he said he will take it to the vote and that he will enforce. He goes, she said, we have concessions, we have guarantees that Senator Thune will push the standing filibuster in order to invoke the SAVE Act. Well, now we heard from Congressman Burleson also a little bit later in the day, and he said, well, there are questions if that's exactly what Thune committed to, or Thune potentially is walking it back if it were, in fact, what he promised. He was softening it a little bit. Well, what is a filibuster? A filibuster is where in the Senate, because you have to get to 60 votes in order to move to the place where you actually vote on whatever the bill is, the filibuster it needs to be ended. So you have to get 60 people out of 100, 2 representatives, senators from every state in an equal representation in the Senate body, have to get to 60 votes in the Senate in order to move to the next step of passing a bill, which is simple majority rules, but you have to get over that 60 vote threshold. What President Trump is saying, you have to do it. He's saying you got to move past this hang up that we have in the Senate. He goes, the Democrats are going to do it. He wants to make sure that the Republicans get down to business and get the filibuster out of the way so that they can get the SAVE Act, among other things, passed right away. Now, there are other people weighing in on this and some who have supported it from the very jump of getting rid of the filibuster. Some people who are maybe leaning a little bit more into it now than they were before. Here is Congressman Stubbe of Florida.
If you look at my Twitter feed, I've been calling on Thune since the first government shutdown to do away with the filibuster. It is incredible to me that the Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the White House. The American people have given us an edict to go and do conservative policy. And you have Thune that is forced to go and talk to Chuck Schumer to get anything passed because of the filibuster in place. That's not what the American people want. Chuck Schumer shouldn't decide what's happening in American politics right now because the Democrats are in the minority in the Senate. So it's very frustrating for conservatives. It's frustrating for people like myself. So, something as simple as the SAVE Act that simply says that you have to be a citizen of our country to vote in our elections, and you have to show identification in order to do that, can't even get a vote in the Senate because of the filibuster rule.
So I'm gonna push back just a little bit here on what Representative Greg Stubbe says, because he says the American people don't want this. The American people don't want not Mitch McConnell. The American people don't want Chuck Schumer, the Democrat minority leader in the Senate, to be dictating what we get to do. I just think that when the shoe is on the other foot, that you will find yourself thinking that, gosh, I really wish Senator Thune had an ability to influence something here, especially if it's a slim majority the way Republicans have right now in the Senate. Is it 53-47 because the independents that are in the Senate caucus with the Democrats? You can stand to lose 3, still be a 50-50 tie if those 3 separate off and vote with the Democrats. And then, of course, J.D. Vance comes in and breaks the tie and likely votes in the favor of what Republicans were trying to accomplish from the very beginning, from the jump. When you consider the fact that the House is there to be a majority, a simple majority, you get one more vote in the House, that sucker passes. When it goes to the Senate, it's intentionally meant to slow things down. I look at the filibuster, that 60-vote majority, as the work stoppage that keeps government from going at a fevered pace. And I always think, because this is how my brain thinks, like, what's the worst that could happen in this situation? Well, the worst that could happen is that the parties are switched in the House and there's a slim Democrat majority, but you've got like a Nancy Pelosi type who rules with an iron fist and is able to get whatever she wants out of her voters there in the House, the Democrats, the caucus members. So you can get something passed in the House that when it goes to the Senate, that you become irrelevant. If the roles are reversed, do you want what is being suggested here by Greg Stubbe, that Chuck Schumer have no say, no ability to influence what's going on because the filibuster is removed? So we can sit here and we can have this conversation, and obviously you don't want to, if the shoe is on the other foot, you don't want Democrats to be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want. If they own the House, own the Senate, and own the executive branch, you don't want Democrats to be able to do that. The problem that we face in February of 2026 is that we're in a midterm, and we know, historically speaking, midterms generally swing from, a majority shift to a blue wave of sorts in the opposite direction of the party that is currently in power. The Democrats stand historically to win significant seats in the midterm. We'll see how the Republicans show up, and there will be a lot to discuss down the road as to whether or not that's actually what ends up happening. But if you think analytically, if you think objectively, if you think, historically about why the filibuster was put in place, and you think to yourself, well, gosh, if that shoe were on the other foot, I sure wouldn't like that. Folks, the shoe will be on the other foot. It certainly will be on the other foot. If it's not going to be on the other foot, obviously, come November, Democrats could take the House and the Senate. The president is still there in the Oval Office. He can veto things. You want to stay away from that veto-proof majority that the Democrats could have come November. But you still have the Oval Office. Of course, everything that Donald Trump wants to do will come to a screeching halt. But the question is, what will the Democrats do once they get the Senate back? So I think before you vote, if you haven't already voted in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll, before you vote, what should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? I just want you to think, what will a Democrat majority do in the Senate with the filibuster? Just consider it. And for decades, the Republican Party, the grand old party, has stood on principle and done the air quotes right thing for the Democrats to get in office and then do exactly the opposite. And then they get their stuff done. So that's what we see over and over and over again. And we have to think about the moment we have right now in time where we are in a position to get something done. And I think that election integrity has to be at the absolute top of the list. It has to be something that is, whatever we were to bust the filibuster for, it would have to be something that was worthy of it, extenuating circumstances. And when you look across this country and you see where our elections, the very foundation with which every other political conversation is built upon. First, you have elections, and then you have people who make decisions. If the American people cannot have confidence in the electoral process, in our election systems, then we don't have a democratic republic. We don't have that thing that we champion, that thing that makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside when the American flag waves during the national anthem at the Super Bowl. We don't have that. That's fake and phony, and it's something that someone's selling to you if we don't have fair elections. So is the filibuster the only thing standing between us and fair elections? What would the Democrats do with the filibuster if they were in our shoes? And what should, with integrity, the Republicans in the Senate do with the filibuster in order to pass the SAVE Act? They say they have 50 votes. They say they can pass it. What should they do? If you want to know what a filibuster might look like, Senator Cruz did this. I remember when this happened. The idea of a filibuster, a standing filibuster, which is the third option in our poll today. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Get rid of it completely, get rid of it selectively. Standing filibuster, which is where you must hold the floor or do nothing, leave it as it is. Here is Ted Cruz in a standing filibuster with the meat and potatoes of the issue.
Sam I am. That Sam I am, that Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
The business of the people, folks. I would have gotten some like Tolkien or C.S. Lewis or maybe something that was Rowling, possibly something that could like really give some sort of service, some cultural resonance to the people. But maybe he did that as well. Nothing wrong with a little Seuss, right? Well, that's what a standing filibuster looks like. You're just taking up the people's time, and you're doing it because you believe it's something that requires it. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? That's what we're asking you today. You can text us at 314-241-9797. Ryan, you're back at the text. Welcome back.
Ready to roll.
Text message us at 314-241-9797, and you can call us at that same number, 314-241-9797. Haven't taken phone calls on the show in quite some time, and let us know what you think about the filibuster, what these Republicans should do with their majority in the Senate. 314-241-9797. We'll scan some calls, we'll scan some texts, and we'll discuss it when we come back. Don't go away.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. If you have a crack in your basement foundation, you have a phone call to make, and that is to Matt Hayes of Home Shield Foundation Repair, 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Home Shield Foundation Repair is a St. Louis born and raised company with St. Louis folks who understand the issues specific to our region. They know how to fix your wet basement. If you just want to know, okay, Matt, tell me what I'm looking at here. Tell me what I'm dealing with. Have him come look at your basement, stand there, show him what you've experienced, and he's going to do his thing and tell you, here's how I can fix it. And he backs that basement waterproofing up with a lifetime warranty. You just got to reach out and start the conversation. Make sure you tell him that you heard about him on the Annie Fry Show on 97.1. He loves hearing that. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Matt Hayes is waiting for your phone call. You'll be glad you called somebody who you'll find out very quickly you can trust. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Injured at work? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-777-7777.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another. For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're talking about the filibuster, that thing that's standing in the way of Republicans getting some things done. Donald Trump says, get rid of it. And Senator Thune says, if you do the standing filibuster where you have to stand there, that's what, until I think it was, what was it, Jimmy Carter? I think it was 1974. You had a standing filibuster where in order to stop something from going to a vote, you had to hold the floor. And that, and right now, in order to end the filibuster, you just have to get 60 votes. So according to Congressman Burleson yesterday, the reason why they don't do the standing, you can go listen to the podcast on the Odyssey app, find Annie Fry Show there. The reason why they don't have the standing filibuster anymore, according to Congressman Burleson, is because they're in their 80s and it's too much work.
Dead on.
Yeah? You're with them on that?
And I'm not using that pun lightly.
Let's get to some phone calls here. I've got 3 people ready to go on the air. You can call us at 314-241-9797. I'm going to get to some text messages as well that Ryan is monitoring. We'll start with Philip. Philip, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about the filibuster?
Well, it needs to be standing, and here are the reasons. Number 1, you're not accused of getting rid of the filibuster. Number 2, you make them stand up and look silly. Number 3, you put it on the news, and everybody sees how silly they are, and you've only stopped the bill for 2 days. Standing filibuster.
Standing filibuster from Philip. Do you want to see the SAVE Act be passed? Do you want the voter ID?
Absolutely.
All right. Philip, thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. That he hung up on his own. That is how you do a phone call.
That was awesome.
Yes. Philip, calling every day.
Extremely efficient.
We'll probably use you. He needs to get on the Odyssey app. Can you still do the microphone thing?
I'd have to check. I think so.
We haven't been checking it if you've been sending us audio cuts. But we should check. On the Odyssey app, there's a microphone. When you're streaming 97.1 FM Talk, you can click that and send us recordings. Do our recordings still go in a big pile with Camo X?
I think they do.
Maybe
That's
should
the problem.
Well, maybe we should just have them comment on Camo X. Anyway, never mind. I didn't say that out loud. David, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on the filibuster?
Hi, yeah, I'm basically against getting rid of the filibuster. The standing filibuster probably would be okay, but my attitude is, for since 16, when Democrats said that we stole a judge, which we didn't.
No, we did not. That's correct.
We did not do that. We only did what they said they were going to do. If we get rid of it, then they will use if we don't fundamentally change it so that they don't gain control of the Senate, then we will be destroying democracy, basically, being the ones who can do that. And with this whole thing of calling us fascists and everything, they can easily change the laws. I mean, I've been thinking about this for a little while now, so that's kind of my position, that we don't want to do it because we would destroy the democracy. I don't know enough about the changes to the federal laws. I don't think I think the states have the right to do their own elections.
David, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. And
You're welcome.
I know this is something that a lot of people like David is saying. You think about this for a long time because you're really breaking the glass in case of emergency. You can't put that glass back together. If the Republicans do this, to me, this is a stupid but necessary position to be in. The reason to do it is because the Democrats are going to do it. It's a certainty. The Democrats will not have any reservation. Because why? What will they say? Democracy is at stake. But they've been saying that forever. And the only thing that is a threat to their democracy is safe and fair elections, which is what voter ID, which allows Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike to show up with the same requirements to present an ID that is a validation, a verification of what is already law, which is that you have to be a citizen to vote. So, pass the SAVE Act. 314-241-9797 if you want to call in. 314-241-9797. Greg, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Good to talk to you. What do you think about the filibuster?
Well, I love you guys, and I think there's the level of naivete to think that the Democrats are going to honor. You spoke of, doing the honorable thing, and that only works if the people you're dealing with also have honor. And when they don't, they just use honor as a weapon against you. It's the same thing with religion. If you're a religious person and somebody else isn't, they'll use your religion against
100%.
you.
Yes.
And I know the Democrats will get rid of the filibuster if they gain the House and Senate. That's not an if. They will. And then when they do, they will impeach Donald Trump. And so he won't be in a position to veto any bills that might get passed. Now, maybe J.D. Vance can do it if he's not tied up fighting some sort of BS impeachment proceeding. There is no percentage in not getting rid of the filibuster right now and getting as much done as possible, because that may affect the midterms in and of itself.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Greg. 314-241-9797. Ryan, let's go to the text line. You can call us at 314-241-9797. You can also text us at the same number. What do you got over there?
Lots of texts coming in. One says, I would do away with the filibuster altogether. Next one says standing filibuster, so kind of all over the board. Next one says, imagine thinking the SAVE Act isn't the single most important thing on the planet currently. And then a different person, pass it now. The Democratic Party is controlled by progressive, useful idiots. All they do is destroy.
Let's ask a question here in the room, because I've been saying this as if it's a statement of fact. Greg just backed me up on that. If the Democrats take control of the Senate, will they eliminate the filibuster?
100%.
Like, no doubt in your mind.
Well, they already tried in 2021. Mm-hmm. They just didn't have Manchin and Sinema on board. Yeah. So they will do it.
There's no question in your mind.
No.
Do you think that Fetterman would be in support of it?
No.
So they need more. They need +1.
They'd need 51 senators because he'd drop off. I don't think anybody else would, though. I think he's the only one.
He's the only one that might do it.
And he might. Yeah, it doesn't mean that he.
Yeah, I don't have as much confidence in him as I did Manchin. But he hasn't voted with the Republicans on anything.
Just as a point of detail in legislative order, I asked AI, is a filibuster in any position during an impeachment conviction. Because if you remember, people talk about if the House goes to the Democrats, which it would take 2 seats to flip, and the Democrats, it may even technically be 1. There's 435, so there's a 1. I don't know how many people are actually in right now, but the Republicans have a 1-seat majority. They can lose 1 vote. So I think you'd need 3. I don't know. Math sucks. I'm in communications, people. But, are they going to flip that many seats? That you could flip 20, 30, 40 seats in the midterms. That's happened before on both sides of the aisle. If you remember, Barack Obama in his midterm talked about a shellacking because the Republicans went crazy in, I think it was 2014, and 2010 was the Tea Party movement. So that was a huge Republican pickup for the non-in-power party from the White House. So people just like checks and balances. And honestly, the filibuster is one of those parts of the checks and the balances. I wonder if we talked to Will Chamberlain at the Article 3 Project, because he had this really clever idea, because we always asked about packing the court. Should the Republicans pack the court right now because they're in power, because everyone says as soon as Democrats have the votes to do it, they're going to pack the court. And he said what the Republicans should do is offer up an amendment to set the Supreme Court justice seats at 9. And it should be wildly supported by Democrats. And if the Democrats won't join them on that, now an amendment is a bigger deal than just that specifically, but put it up there. Give the Democrats the opportunity to jump on board. And if they're like, we're not gonna support that, he goes, then pack the court before they do. Simple. So I don't know. Is there a clever way around the filibuster to where you say, well, let's vote to make the filibuster permanent. Can you do that? I mean, I feel like anything you can make permanent, there's always a way to make it unpermanent. It's just the threshold based on how it's a part of our law and our system is the deciding factor. However, I was just going to say here, if, we're talking about the filibuster as the barrier that makes the Senate a slower working body of government, you have to have more people on board. There's less people who have to communicate with one another in order to get something done. 100 people, 2 from each state, versus 435 members representing about 750,000 people per district in the House of Representatives. The filibuster doesn't have anything to do with a conviction in the Senate of an impeachment charge. So the impeachment comes from the House of Representatives. They basically are like the grand jury that charges the person being impeached with an impeachable offense. So being impeached is like being charged. And then it goes to the Senate to be heard and essentially tried. And then the Senate tries the person who's been impeached to find out if they are going to effectively be removed. After that, depending on what they're impeached for, they could then go on to a criminal trial. This is just the political way to hold people accountable. But there is a 2/3 majority required in the Senate in order to convict somebody in an impeachment hearing. And that is a gigantic threshold. It's obviously bigger than the 60 is a 66 vote threshold. So Democrats, let's say they take the House in the midterms, they're going to impeach Donald Trump. I'm actually not 100% sure that all Democrats would vote to impeach Donald Trump. And I actually think that the Republicans that are in there, there's always some Republicans that in the past would have voted to impeach Donald Trump because they did. They're all gone. So I don't know. It would have to be a sizable majority, which is achievable for the Democrats if they do this midterm thing correctly. But the Senate, man, there'd have to be an event in order for it to even be taken seriously once it gets out of the House. So then what will we see? A bunch of executive orders from the White House over and over and over again for 2 years, which J.D. Vance would help get until when he runs for re-election or election in 2028. Keep your thoughts coming. We'll keep discussing the filibuster. Lots of other things to talk about as well. We've got Paul Mauro scheduled for 1:30 today. Unless the TV channel scoops him up and he's on Big Fox News TV, we're going to talk to him about Nancy Guthrie. That story is taking a turn. We'll discuss when we come back.
30th as we discover the charm of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany with Colette Travel. Spend 4 nights in Bern and 4 nights at the foot of the Alps in Innsbruck. There are cobblestone streets and postcard-worthy mountain landscapes of the amazing Alps everywhere. We'll explore the Swiss capital of Bern and Lucerne, the Swiss paradise on the lake. Plus, we'll travel the Austrian countryside to Salzburg with a visit to Mozart's birthplace and beautiful Mirabelle Gardens featured in The Sound of Music. Colette handles all the details, from flights to meals, hotels, and local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining me. Call Colette at 800-581-8942 or visit 971talk.com to learn more. The number again, 800-581-8942. Call today.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? That's the question today. We were just taking your calls, and of course, we'll continue to take your texts on this subject. 314-241-9797, and you can log on and leave us comments on Facebook and YouTube. As always, where you can see our pretty faces there on the stream. It's the YouTube live chat poll. Don't react that way, Annie. It's 12:35. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
When I hear songs like this, I hear the clap track in the back.
Oh, do you?
I have to learn it. I think that makes me kind of like a psychopath.
Ooh, that's tricky because when I turn this up in my headphones.
Yeah, it kind of faded out.
Well, the claps become
Little Rihanna action here.
More than claps. They become like
Slaps.
electronic somethings
Yeah,
too.
I know. But when I listen to things, there's this one music track that it might have been the one that like Sue used to have in the background of her traffic updates.
Okay.
But it had a whistle in it.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
You jerk. That's in some commercial. That's in a different commercial right now.
I
that's
think
on
I know what
TV,
you're talking about.
But it's kind of like snappy and jazzy. And I'm driving around I'm like just driving, picking up my kids, driving the minivan around. And I'm just like, tweet, 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 tweet. and that's like all I can think of when it's on there. And Sue, because she's great.
Right. This has nothing
In my
to do
mind,
with
while Sue is doing that traffic update, she requires Mark and Mark to blow the whistle on time every time because it's on time traffic.
Yeah, and they did. We just recorded it.
Yes. Well,
That was Mark and Mark blowing the whistle.
Thought
though.
it was
just
live.
recorded.
In sadder news right now, the story regarding Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy Guthrie, is so incredibly sad and devastating. Fox News reports NBC host Savannah Guthrie's mother taken from home as expert raises alarming new theories amid lack of leads. So we were at a basketball game last night, got home late, and when I walked in, finally got in the house after shuffling kids around everywhere that they needed to be, I look on the TV. I think is it Trace Gallagher's at night? I love his show. I love that it's like super newsy, but then he's kind of a little spicy from time to time. I think that's great. It's kind of sneaky. I like that about Trace Gallagher. But they're reporting this story that TMZ is now involved because there's a ransom letter.
So we got something in our email that looks like it's written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Specific
And they're
requests
very
for certain amounts of money,
very specific.
Bitcoin.
And also, they say at the bottom, there are certain things they're saying about what she was wearing and damage to the house.
That
as
they're
if
clearly saying to verify that
it's us.
We know what we're talking about here.
So we've contacted the sheriff's department, and we want to get them this letter. We had a little trouble getting through to the right person, but the person we spoke with is now forwarding this to somebody in the detective bureau. So if my phone rings, I may have to stop and...
What's interesting is, there was just a news conference that just ended with the sheriff, and he was asked about, and we're going to do this segment in a few minutes, but he was asked about a ransom note, and he just said, we're following all leads.
Yeah, and this again, we don't know
if
it's
this is
authentic,
legit, right.
if it's authentic or not, but they're, when you read it, they're acting as if, yeah, only we would know these things, and we're serious, and there's a dollar demand and an or else in there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is two guys doing their TMZ thing there and saying that they got this note suggesting that there are specific things in there that maybe only those people would know. This story is wild. And they don't I keep waiting because I think we're all thinking it that she's no longer with us, and that they're going to report that eventually, and they keep not reporting it. So they are still searching for her with hopes that she is alive. And now this TMZ thing is thrown in. I'm seeing so many people. This is really heartbreaking to me. I see so many people reporting on this story in discussion fashion on the national news, different networks, certainly a lot of Fox News. And they're all commenting about how they very personally, they're pretty much saying straight out, I've sacrificed a lot to be doing what they're doing on those national television shows. And I've got a mom, I've got a dad back at home in some state somewhere else. And so the story is really hitting them hard. So it's listening to the reporting on this from people who are discussing it. I actually am a little refreshed that across networks that people are like, this is a human being. Savannah Guthrie is a colleague as far as being in the industry or whatever, that everybody understands that, if you're out there talking about Nancy Guthrie and there's a political angle to it, goodbye. Not interested in what you have to say. Probably ever again, honestly. I hope they find her.
There's no reason to even have a political angle with this. It's so far removed from even the person who has the political angle. I mean, maybe she's a Democrat or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Savannah Guthrie interviewed Trump very hostily, did a town hall debate type of thing. She was hostile.
Oh, Savannah Guthrie's super slanted. I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
But I mean, that's the distance you have to travel in order to suggest that any sort of politics should influence your opinion about whatever happens next in this story.
Yeah, but this is her mom.
Yes.
Even if it were Savannah Guthrie, you'd go, that's wrong. This isn't even her. This is Savannah Guthrie's mom who lives in Arizona. So this is a bizarre story. And if it's politically motivated, then it's insane. It's already insane, regardless of the motivation.
Fox News reports Arizona officials are providing few updates on the disappearance of NBC Today co-host Savannah Guthrie's mother after she vanished from her home over the weekend in an apparent abduction. NBC's Tom Winter said, "Somebody always knows something. At the end of this case is an 84-year-old woman who wanted to spend the rest of her days going to church, spending time with her kids and grandkids. So now is the time to make that call. That is going to be critical in this case. I've never seen a situation where somebody didn't know something about who was responsible for the crime." Nancy Guthrie, 84, was last seen at her Tucson residence at around 9:30 p.m. Saturday, according to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. While the circumstances surrounding her disappearance have not been elaborated upon, Sheriff Chris Nanos said on Monday that we do in fact have a crime, end quote. A law enforcement source told Fox News Digital that there were, quote, blood drops leading from the entryway outside down the house pathways towards the driveway. I hear a lot of criticism as well for like the amount of information that they're not providing, or their willfulness to be like, we don't know. We could be looking for one person. We could be looking for 10 people. We don't know. And I'm thinking about every time I'm listening to a press conference like this, specifically about a specific local American crime, or if it's some sort of like national security or foreign policy sort of thing, I'm always like, gosh, if you're telling me this, then everybody has access to this information. I really hope that you're not giving us the whole story. I really hope that you have 80%, 20%, some percent tucked away that is the valuable information, so you know a little bit more than you are providing the American public. But in this instance, I don't know necessarily if they're saying that in the right way. They are out there, they're like, we don't really know anything about this. I don't believe it. But isn't it better to come out and say, these are the facts that we can share with you, and at this time, that's all we can commit to discussing. We'll have another conference when we have further information to share.
Well, yeah, especially if you're looking for the public's help. You know, you need to provide sort of a box within, okay, we know this. What can you tell us about this? If you know it's an abduction, you know, it was between this time and this time. That helps narrow down for people going, oh, you know, I did see something kind of weird in that time period on that street. That helps.
This initial report that I was reading from was updated today at 11 a.m. I thought I heard that they had a person of interest or a suspect, an idea of somebody. This is tweeted at 9:07 this morning, so I'm not even going to read that because that might not be current at this point. I do not dive into the true crime stuff. I don't like it. I personalize it. It antagonizes me. I worry about enough things as it is that I don't need more of that. This to me isn't true crime if she's still, I mean, there's obviously crime, but like, we got to find this woman. We got to know what's going on. Pray for this family. Pray for Nancy Guthrie. Pray, you know, obviously for Savannah, but Savannah's not the only family member right now that is living in a state of fear and terror that I can't even imagine. And also, there are a lot of lessons that we can learn about this moment that we can take and implement in our daily lives, which is if you have people, if you have an older generation that you're taking care of, you need to know how to access their things. You need to have, like, somebody in your family needs to know how to get into the phone, needs to know how to get into the iPad or the computer, because there's information that they could glean from her phone, from her smartwatch, from the different things she's connected to, if they could just get into it. And apparently they don't have at this time the ability to crack into it. And of course, there have been many cases where Apple has said, I'm sorry, we can't permit you to, we're not hacking into it. So you need to have somebody who understands if it's the shape of the 9 dots on the screen that gets you into that phone, or get your fingerprint implemented in it so that you can access it. I mean, this is how I access all my kids' phones. We should be doing that and making sure we have access to our parents' things as well. And if you're that older generation or your parent generation, you should document your logins and passwords for somebody and tell people where they are. Somebody you trust, obviously, not for the whole world to understand, but that stuff needs to be done. We'll talk a little bit more about an easy way to go through and navigate all that stuff here in a little bit. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins and Wiggins America in full form. Oddly satisfying things that make introverts happy. I'm excited to hear these things.
Well, we'll find out whether you are a true introvert. I have suspicions that Brad is a true extrovert, and I want to find that out too.
I 100% agree.
Okay.
What are you?
And I don't know what I am, so we'll find that out too.
I'm an extroverted introvert. I think that Brad,
I'm probably
maybe
the same.
No, you're not.
No, I really think I am.
You're one of a kind, buddy.
Oh, okay, thanks.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, you've got the opportunity to really improve your mortgage circumstance and situation. If you're shopping for a new home, you're going to want to get a new mortgage, obviously, unless you're money bags. If you're money bags, then you just sit this one out and give me a call. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You need to make sure that you've got this number in your phone for the time when it comes to get that new mortgage for your new home, but also for your cash out refinance, for your regular refinance, just to lock in that lower rate. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to go through the process. You're going to qualify for the bagel loan. He can close in less than 2 weeks. So this thing is pretty snappy. It gets done pretty quickly with a man you can trust. I've done it twice myself at Stewart's American Mortgage. But the best part about the bagel loan is that new mortgage or that mortgage refinance, cash out refinance, you pay nothing in closing costs. Stewie takes care of it for you. He can explain in detail, great detail. If you so choose, you can ask him, or you can take my word for it. You can call him, you can text him, and talk to him about how a bagel loan can improve your financial position at 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
It should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
Wiggins! All right, let's find out whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. These are oddly satisfying things that make introverts happy. So if you like these things, you are more likely an introvert. The first one, I think, is pretty obvious.
Silence.
Unexpected alone time. Canceled plans are the unicorn of the introvert's life. Rare but magical.
See winter snowstorm of January 2026. What did I say? I want all the snow so that I can get locked inside. And people are like, oh, you got to go sledding? Heck no. I'm going to sit inside.
Well, that's why even we did a whole poll on that.
Do you know why? Because I was pumped.
Because you were excited about it
Yes,
last week.
Yes.
Sounds awful.
And you hated it.
I hate that idea.
See, we need to dive into that a little bit more.
Canceled plans, hate that.
Well, I don't like unexpectedly canceled plans if it's...
I do.
Oh, no, that sounds terrible.
Why?
I mean, if it's sports and stuff that'll be rescheduled, I don't
Put
care.
a little work into making plans.
But if it's like a meeting I have or something that I got to delay, it drives me nuts.
Real quick, Nick N comments on YouTube, Annie ain't no introvert. Do you agree with Nick?
No, Nick.
No.
Also, I hate your grammar, sir.
For the record, Nick, I know you're here. I see you. Thanks for being here. Also, I feel like I pretty much just talk to 2 people every day. So 2.5. I know there are millions and millions of people out there listening to the Annie Fry Show right now. Wink. But I feel like I really talk to Brad, Ryan, and Ethan.
Well, Nick says you just want rest. You don't actually want alone time. You just want to get some sleep.
How about both?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Keep going.
I don't want to rest when there are people around.
Okay. You don't just go to
They
sleep?
keep asking me to get them cheese sticks.
My dogs do the same thing.
Uh-huh. And I do that when Annie gets here. Annie.
Do you want a yellow and white one or just a white one?
Surprise me.
Yeah. That one. Gosh, Mom.
Oh, man, do your kids do that?
No,
hey,
'cause
can you
I
give
would
me an
never
idea
get-
for a thing to build with Legos? Sure, build a garage. No.
Maybe you just need better ideas.
Stop asking me for ideas.
I
I'll
used
give
to
you
do
4
that.
more, and
Like,
you'll dislike all of
My
them.
parents give me an idea. No.
Give me an idea for a cool bazooka. Okay, one that shoots fire. I'd have that one. Okay, next one. Little tangent. Introverts. Finding the perfect headphones only zone.
Wait, what's that mean?
Being in your own world. Tuning out the outside world. Being able to just be with your own sounds. Or music.
I like that.
I don't have
Do
that.
you?
There's,
I don't like
There's
that.
no time for that.
Yeah.
When it's
Sounds
mowing
nice.
season, I have headphones that I pop on to block out the the clatter of the lawnmower and everything. But that hour, 2.5 hours, whatever it is, perfect.
Wait, is there no time for it, or would you not like it if you had time for it?
Oh, no, I would like time where I could just choose anything I wanted to do.
So you would like that? I would never choose.
I don't
this.
think I would. I mean, that's why I was asking you for a little more clarification, because I don't know that if I had that time, I'd sit and listen to more things.
Well, then I am in the same boat. This isn't my thing.
Being able to dictate what I'm consuming sounds great, but I don't need more.
Yeah.
I need less.
Yeah.
If I were sitting, and I love to cut grass, and I used to cut grass at my parents' farm all the time, but if I were doing that, I would just want to listen to the lawnmower.
That's what I do.
And the wind.
And I just sing loudly to myself because nobody
Here,
can hear it.
wait. I'm going to do the wind. You do the lawnmower. Ready?
Okay.
Go. Oh my gosh, it's so relaxing. Well, crap, now we got to fix the mower.
I know.
That is the story
Went
of my
over a
life
tree
these
branch.
days. Trisha, will you submit that to the Gracies, please? Thanks.
With no context. Hey, listen to what it's
ASMR.
like when you mow
Is there
the
an
grass.
ASMR category? Can you put this on hold? Can we do more later?
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of this left.
Don't worry. If you're listening right now, you're going to want to check out.
You're
the
gonna
2 o'clock
love
hour.
it when we do it again.
Oh, we're going to get copyrighted?
For what?
That other channel's ASMR.
It sounds so much like actual grass
It
cutting.
sounds so much like what? Ass?
Actual.
That's not what I was doing.
It's good to be
when
back.
I was going like this.
Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30 p.m. Here are Bob and Tammy Kershaw with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement? retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, February 17th at 6:30 p.m. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Point Pest Control, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com. I really encourage you to give these people the opportunity to make your home or your business pest-free. They're wonderful folks, first and foremost, but they do a fantastic job, one that is incredibly reliable. When they do their job right, at least at my house, they come out quarterly. They treat the inside of the home. They treat the outside of the home with a very safe product, so you don't have to worry about, the chemical treatments coming in and being bad for your kids, for your dogs, for yourself. It's all safe for you, and it is not safe for the pests. The pests are gone, and the thing that I appreciate about them so much is that when I get a text from them that says, hey, your quarterly service treatment is coming up this Thursday, just want to let you know, I kind of forget that I even subscribe to them because I don't have pests. If I had pests popping up, spiders, ants, whatever it might be, I'd be like, oh gosh, we got to get them back out here again. No, I don't, because what they do is so purposefully functional for our home that I don't really think about them until those quarterly services come back up again. 636-798-0023. You can get them online at pointpestcontrol.com.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Assassin. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The man convicted in the second Trump assassination attempt learns his fate.
Ryan Wesley Ruth will spend the rest of his life in federal prison for his attempted killing of President Trump in September of 2024 at the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. Ruth defended himself at trial, but Martin Roth was his standby lawyer.
He hopes that his actions do not influence other people or motivate other people to involve themselves in a political act of violence.
The judge called Ruth evil. President Trump was campaigning for office and had just survived being shot months earlier when Secret Service agents discovered Ruth hiding in the shrubs with a gun just off the green as the then candidate was playing.
Fox's Evan Brown in Miami. The defense plans to appeal. The White House just confirming that President Trump has spoken with Savannah Guthrie as the search continues for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of the Today Show host, believed to have been abducted from her Arizona home last weekend. Police are denying reports of a person of interest. Possible ransom notes sent to media outlets are also under investigation. A personal thank you to the First Lady from two former Hamas hostages.
I want to thank you for being a caring, compassionate person and for supporting and helping Aviva.
Keith Siegel was held for more than a year, ultimately freed months after his wife Aviva had been released and reached out to First Lady Melania Trump.
After Aviva was freed, she called me, wanted to see me, and we set up a meeting in New York.
That emotional meeting was part of the movie Melania, but taking questions from reporters moments ago, the First Lady said today is about celebrating the Siegels, not promoting the movie. The Winter Olympics officially underway now. Mixed doubles curling kicking it off in Italy ahead of Friday's opening ceremony. America is listening to Fox News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly sunny skies, but the northwest flow still with us going through this Wednesday afternoon. 31 cold degrees. Tonight, clear skies and drop it down to 17. On Thursday, partly sunny. Very cold start Thursday morning, close to 40 in the afternoon. Friday continues to look great. Sunny skies, 49-50 for the high Friday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. It is Wednesday, and we are asking you on the YouTube poll your thoughts on the filibuster. So join us there and give us an opinion, a thought, a comment on how you feel about what the Republicans should do with that majority in the Senate. Let's listen to Tom Homan from earlier this morning.
We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. We currently have an...
So you have Tom Homan speaking. He's the Trump border czar. And, of course, he went to Minneapolis to really get the project going in a way that was more organized and attentive to staying course to finding those people in Minneapolis who are here illegally, who have committed these violent crimes, and removing them from our country, but also in the middle of significant unrest that has been stoked by the elected officials there, like Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Frey. Let's talk to our friend Deroy Murdock about it. Nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, and Fox News contributor. Deroy, welcome back. It's good to have you with us.
Great to be with you, Annie.
So, I really feel like the Trump administration in the kind of personnel change at the top in Minneapolis, putting Homan in and kind of pulling, I guess, Kristi Noem and Bovino back out of there, they kind of made an effort to pivot to get the job done, but also show maybe a little good faith that they actually have a purpose there, not just to stoke the fire and the flames. Have you seen anything from the other side of the aisle there in Minneapolis and in Minnesota, where they've kind of made a pivot as well to keep calm and peace at bay there in Minneapolis?
That's a good question. I think on the part of Governor Walz, he seems to have calmed down a little bit. And I guess it was last week he said he and President Trump had a good phone call, and the tone was very good. And I think the mayor there, Frey, I think has sort of tried to do that as well. I'm not sure on the street if I've seen that. I think there's still people running around engaging in chaotic behavior. I saw I think it was this morning, a YouTube video in which some people approached a black ICE agent and called him, excuse the language, a quote house nigger unquote. Not pretty language, and not the kind of language you expect to hear from people who claim to be open-minded, liberal Democrats, et cetera, et cetera. This is the kind of language I thought we abandoned back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But here we are in the 2020s with people on the street, people on the left, I assume, using that kind of language. Absolutely disgusting. But I do think we have to maintain some level of outrage and concern about the behavior of these protesters. Some of them are being peaceful and are just chanting and waving signs, but other people out there breaking windows, spitting in the faces of our ICE agents, screaming and yelling outside their hotels to keep them awake, which means that they're kind of be coming out onto the streets the next morning, tired, drowsy, maybe not fully focused, and that's not the kind of situation which you're going to be making necessarily the best, soundest, most prudent snap judgments with a quarter of a second or 1/8 of a second to figure out what it is you're going to do with your gun or your taser or your pepper spray or whatever else it might be.
Yeah, I think about the charged words that have been used surrounding, leading up to the moments where two individual people have lost their lives at the hands of ICE, but for circumstances that were really built up to a moment where it came to a head, and very, very tragic to lose these lives. For what cause? I think that's what I'm asking myself repeatedly. The stoking of the agitation that's there by specifically Mayor Fry, but certainly at his side, Governor Walz, sending these people in and telling them to accost these ICE agents and really diminishing any sort of authority that they actually lawfully have to carry out their jobs there. I mean, it's almost as if the people in their lives don't matter to these elected officials, that the martyrdom for the cause that they're trying to put out there is what really is of importance to them.
Well, the martyrdom certainly worked. I mean, if what these people want to do is to get President Trump and his administration to tap the brakes and maybe even go in reverse a bit. I mean, having these two people who are dead and will not be making it home for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah, as the case may be, this winter, I think has put kind of a crimp in the momentum of the administration on the streets of Minneapolis. And so I think that if this is what they wanted to do, that's certainly what they accomplished. And if that means that the two people who are now dead are kind of collateral damage, and unfortunately, mission accomplished. But as you say, to what cause and to what end? As I have a piece in the Daily Signal. Minneapolis ICE haters are not so into peace, love, and understanding. When they are out there in the streets, blocking ICE cars with their bodies, screaming profanities in the faces of ICE agents, trying to keep them penned in parking lots at federal facilities so they can't go out and enforce the law. Unfortunately, a couple of officers, one had his finger badly bitten, another one had his right ring finger so badly injured that he had to have it part of it surgically removed. I've got some pretty graphic photos of that in my piece. Unbelievable. This does not fall into the category of peaceful, nonviolent resistance, but all in the service of making it difficult, if not impossible, for ICE to go around and pick up people who are illegal alien criminals, convicted, not suspected, but convicted of crimes including robbery, raping children, pressing children into sex slavery, killing people, killing multiple people. Some of these people who've been rounded up recently have killed as many as 3 people, one person with 3 murders. So when the folks get in the face of ICE and make it difficult for them to do their jobs, they're making it easier for people to stay in Minneapolis and rob people, rape them, and kill them, and rape children and put children into sex slavery. So this is the cause these people are serving. It's not like they're just rescuing somebody who just wants to go and bust dishes off of tables or go clean hotel rooms or something like this. The people ICE are trying to round up are violent, illegal alien criminals, and the idea is convicted criminals. Round them up, deport them, get them out of this country so people can walk the streets of Minneapolis without being afraid or suffering robbery, rape, and homicide. And the anti-ICE protesters seem to have another idea, which is, hey, let's keep these people here and let's welcome them as neighbors. I find it absolutely astonishing.
I think to myself, Deroy, that these protesters, the ones that have really dedicated their life, like it's their life mission to do whatever it is that they're doing there in Minneapolis, but they've probably been to other cities for other protests and other purposes. I'm trying to think, like, what would it take for someone to persuade me to go behave that way and to, devote all of my time to something? Like, it is their purpose for living. Are they getting paid so much that it's that lucrative? Is there somebody who's so successfully brainwashing these individuals into thinking that biting the finger of an ICE agent is a worthy endeavor for some particular cause? Like, I just cannot, in my intellect, understand why these people are doing what they're doing.
That's a very good question. I think some of these people are motivated by, some of them may be sincere and think, hey, let's be nice to these people, and that we don't believe in open borders and let them all come in. I think a lot of them are engaged in just Trump derangement syndrome. If Trump said, hey, we're going to give free cookies to every homeless person in Minneapolis, they'd try to shut down the cookie factory and the cookie distribution program. And then I think some of these people are paid agitators. This is what they do for a living. This is their career. This is what they do. Get up in the morning. Hey, where's the protest? Okay, I'll drive my car to the corner of 3rd and Main and park it, and then go out and scream and yell for 3 hours and collect a check from whoever's handing that out. And I think we're now finding that some of these activists in Minneapolis are funded by George Soros and his vast left-wing empire of subversion. And I also understand that part of this is, in addition to doing this sort of as a profession, for a lot of people, there's their social life. So they get to the protest site. Hey, Paul, how are you? Oh, I'm great, Greg. Good to see you. And Sally, good to see you again. How are your kids? And how's your mom? Is she doing well now that she's out of the hospital? Hey, let's go out for drinks after this. And this is what they do as their social lives, and this is their dating universe. And so for them, it's not just like getting paid. It's kind of like when people like us go to CPAC and we talk about politics and hey, free for happy hour being hosted by the Cato Institute. Oh, okay, great. Let's go have drinks with our friends at Cato. I mean, it's that kind of thing. It's a social deal for them as well as being what they do professionally, and it's kind of something that absorbs their entire lives.
Man, I'm trying to think of people in my life who I can reason with, and then there are some people who I don't try. We try to find other things in common and share that time and space together. But I just don't know that some of these people could be reasoned with at this point. Last question before we let you go. Deroy Murdock with us, Fox News contributor, who has a piece right now in the Daily Signal on these Minneapolis ICE haters. What is your advice, maybe your thoughts on the president's shift to sending Tom home in, but what is your advice to the administration to stay the course on the policy? Should they change the politics around it at all, or do you think they're doing a good job?
I think the best thing they can do is take mugshots of these guys who I've described and the violence and mayhem in which they've engaged, and they need to get some of these wealthy hedge fund and private equity guys and others who are making a ton of money right now and say, listen, you need to put up $5 million, $10 million, $20 million and get ads on TV, not just on Fox News Channel, but on MSNBC and CNN and ABC and CBS and elsewhere and digital and everywhere else, and show people these are the people who have committed these awful crimes. They've killed people, they've raped children, etc. Show their faces, show their names, show their rap sheets, and explain that ICE is busy trying to round these people up, round them up, and get them out of this country. ICE is not running around saying, "Oh, look, it's a brown person. Let's go shoot him. Ha, this is fun." Like it's deer season. This is the narrative the left has pushed. There needs to be complete pushback to point out that these are dangerous criminal convicts who are legal aliens who are being removed from this country. That's the purpose of this, and for those of us who listen to the Annie Fry Show and appear on it, or you as a host and others who watch Fox News Channel, we're getting this information.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing that, you're not getting it from the dinosaur media. So we need to go out there and purchase advertising and run these ads between now and the November election, and I think try to turn around the narrative. This is all just some giant Gestapo operation being done to serve the memory of Adolf Hitler, which is what the left would like the American people to believe.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these thoughts and concerns, these heart issues, that if you were talking to somebody who maybe has a conflicted thought on deportation and who should go, most people think if you're a violent criminal, like anybody who's got common sense, says go away. There might start to be with the people who are here illegally, but like you said, want to go bust tables, that the heart issue becomes a little bit more prominent for some people. We can talk to those people, but some of these other folks, man, I'm like, we don't have anything in common. I don't live in the same reality that you do.
They're in another universe altogether, unfortunately. But there are people in the middle who can be reached, and we need to do that.
Yeah.
because it's the right thing to do, and also because we've got midterm elections coming up, and we need every one of those people to show up and vote to maintain policies that are going to keep this country safe and prosperous and free rather than out of control, chaotic, and increasingly impoverished.
Deroy, thanks for spending some time with us. We always appreciate you.
My pleasure, Annie. Great to be with you.
Take care.
Well,
bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Deroy Murdock is a nationally syndicated columnist. His piece in the Daily Signal, Minneapolis ICE haters are not into peace, with a lot of bulleted details as to how you can prove these people are not really there for peace. They're there for chaos. And essentially, to me, I can't think of a better analogy than to say, like, when my child would throw a tantrum and the only way for me to get them to stop is to give in to what they want. In my house, we just let them throw a tantrum until they get tired of throwing the tantrum, because they're not going to get what they want by behaving that way, because what are they going to do the next time and the next time and the next time? And, if they want to have a rational conversation, especially when they get a little bit older and they don't like something or they disagree with something or they have a different line of thinking on something, it's always something we can talk about. You have a conversation about it. You present it in a respectful way, and then we talk. I can listen to them. They can listen to me. But if you're going to throw yourself on the floor and pound your fists into the ground and kick and scream, okay, guess what? I'm a experienced mom. I can drown that out in an instant. So much so that sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Other people are around and I'm like, oh, my bad. Can you hear that? I couldn't hear that. Sorry, I'll go make them stop. Tantrums abound. Let's take a break. YouTube poll, go vote. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Let us know what you think. You can text us as well at 314-241-9797. Stay close. We'll be right back. aircomfortservice.com. I want to encourage you to go change your filter. We just did that. I don't know why that's such a hard thing to do. It's probably because I have ADD or something. I don't know. But changing your filter is such an important thing to do to keep your furnace in good working order. Every time I ask Corey Malone that, he always says the frequency with which you should change it. He's the owner and operator of Air Comfort Service. It's always like a lot more frequently than I recall that you're supposed to do that. Regardless, if you have put that off, if the furnace isn't working great, it's been crazy cold out there and it's running and running and running, and you are paying for the energy to run that sucker, and it's not warming your house to your comfort zone content, you might need to make a phone call to Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. My pro tip is to change your filter first and see if that helps it. And if it doesn't, give them a call. 24/7 emergency service for you at Air Comfort Service. And tell them Annie sent you. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
The second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're going to talk with Paul Mauro here in about 8 minutes. Going to ask him about the Nancy Guthrie situation and really what he's taking away from this. I think one of the biggest questions that I have is law enforcement doing these press conferences. And at least up until I started the show today, there hasn't been like big leads. But TMZ is involved because they got sent a ransom note that they very openly said, we don't know if this is real, but obviously we've alerted authorities. I always really get frustrated. Okay, let's say there's a 90-second video clip, and it's the TMZ guys. And they're up there saying, you know, we got this letter. And they're kind of explaining what's in the letter. And then they get about 60 seconds in to the 90-second clip, and they're like, obviously we've alerted the authorities and everything. On the internet, there will be numerous, almost infinite people commenting, why are you doing a video on this and not telling the police? And it's like, you doofuses, they told the police before. Like, maybe it's possible that they thought to do that before they made the video. But do you really think that you're going to comment on a video of TMZ's and be like, hey guys, I have an idea. You should call the police. And they're going to go, oh, that's a great idea. I'll be right back. And then they go. Commenters on the internet, I'm losing patience with them. To the extent that if they're not making me mad, they're making me fast and loose with the keyboard. Like, I literally commented on something this morning or last night, and I think it was the Madison County Democrats. And all I replied was, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read. It was essentially, I don't know if this is accurate, so this is kind of a story leading into a story. I think there's going to be a resolution maybe on the primary ballot that's asking Illinois voters if they want the governor to opt in to the school choice scholarship funds that are going to be happening. Because we want J.B. Pritzker to opt in. In the big, beautiful bill, there is a law that is now, the law of the land that says starting in January 2027, if you donate individually up to $1,700, married filing jointly $3,400 to a scholarship-bearing entity, you can do a tax credit toward your tax bill up to that $1,700 or $3,400 amount, which is you saying, do I want the federal government to get this money, or do I want a kid to get this money to use for their education? It's happening. It doesn't matter what state you live in. It doesn't matter if J.B. Pritzker opts in or opts out. You can donate to these places and get that federal tax credit. J.B. Pritzker is the person who gets to decide if Illinois students, if Illinois children, if Illinois families get to receive the scholarship funds. J.B. Pritzker, Governor Pritzker, is the man who gets to make that decision, and he has yet to opt in. Iowa, Missouri, Indiana, Tennessee, Arkansas have all opted in. So all of us who are going to say, well, heck yeah, I would rather have a kid in Missouri have my $1,700 or $3,400 for school choice than the federal government. Right now, J.B. Pritzker is the only person standing in the way of Illinois families from having this opportunity. Just him. And this, what I read online, and I got to do a little more research to know the validity of it, that there might be ballot language that's a resolution from Madison County that could then go to the governor and say, hey, Madison County voted 90-1 to 10 to opt in, Governor, please. And one of the comments was something like, Mitch McConnell, this is how Mitch McConnell gets us back to teaching and to the times of slavery. And I was like, what? Mitch McConnell's in the hospital. Sorry, I don't think they listen to the show. They're probably in the DMA here, but I don't think they listen to the show. If you do, do
you wonder if any of these people are fake?
Which people?
The people who say
the voters in Illinois,
the most insane stuff.
Yeah, I do.
that tax credits for education
No.
would lead to Mitch McConnell returning
the
slavery.
entire presentation on this Madison County Democrats page is like, this is school vouchers. This takes away money from public education. We need to support public education. It doesn't take any money away from public education. Not a penny. That's a lie that you've been fed to spoon feed other people who you're trying to deceive people. Well, that's a problem. You might not be trying to deceive people, but you have been deceived into thinking that this program is going to hurt public education. And that's what the teachers unions are doing. They are they are fit to be tied over this plan. I cannot stress enough to you folks in Illinois. I am first and foremost married to a public school teacher. I cannot stress enough. Nothing that you do in the state of Illinois is going to stop this program from happening. You can't fight the man and take away the school choice thing that is already law. It's happening. The only question that remains, Governor J.B. Pritzker, is will you allow Illinois children to benefit from this program, or are you going to withhold Illinois children from benefiting from this program? Because everybody around you is going to be able to participate, save Wisconsin and Kentucky right now, both with Democrat governors who have not yet to opt in. 30-plus states already opted in. Will Illinois students be able to benefit from this program? It is up to you, J.B. Pritzker. No Madison County resolution is going to stop what's already fully in motion and made law. It's happening. The only question is, do Illinois families get to benefit from it? Do the teachers' unions really have the balls to come out and say, no, you shouldn't? Why? Come on my show and tell me why. In person. I'd like to look you in the eye instead of being the keyboard warrior that said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read.
Well, my only concern is that Mitch McConnell will reinstitute slavery.
I don't think that that's actually going to happen. And he is in the hospital, so hopefully he gets better.
Right, that too. That too. My gosh.
Paul Mauro, when we come back, hopefully he's not. This is what happens. We go to a break. Fox News and the TV comes back, and Paul Mauro's there doing a report. And we're like, well.
Or Stephen Moore.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
Any number of people.
But it's really one of the great things about being your local Fox News radio affiliate. We have connections to all these folks, and they love coming on and talking, not to me, but to you, because they love St. Louis. They tell us all the time. Paul Mauro on the show next.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Home power used to be simple. Now the car plugs in, the scooter plugs in, the space heater plugs in, and your electric panel starts popping.
That sounds bad, but I like popcorn.
Popcorn is great, sparks are not. Call Grasser. We'll upgrade your panel so you can run it all.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Why specialty MRI?
It's proactive healthcare, no code clinics, right here in Fenton.
Was it hard to schedule? Was there a long wait?
Not at all. Direct access, no referral needed.
And the results?
Quick with clear answers with their MRI health bundles.
Sounds like the future.
Call Specialty MRI at 636-591-1288. That's 636-591-1288.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
We're asking you today to consider this question. What should the Senate GOP majority do with the filibuster? Should they get rid of it completely, get rid of it selectively, make it a standing filibuster where you must hold the floor and speak, or nothing? Leave it as it is. We'd like to know where you stand on this issue. Have no idea how this is going to turn out. You got an hour and a half. We'll give you results at the end of the show, close to 3 o'clock. It is 1:31. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Fox News National, St. Louis Local, 97.1 FM Talk.
This is a matter of life and death. And we clearly know and understand that. And you have a investigative lead, a very valuable piece of information to us, and we're going to treat it as just that. It's very serious. With that, we share with the FBI, because they work with these types of situations a lot more than we do. We share with them, they're working an angle on it, and we too are working an angle on it. And hopefully we can either validate it, it's real, and we can track this person down and arrest them, or it's, and hopefully find Nancy there, or it's just not valid.
So there you have the sheriff, Nanos, in the Nancy Guthrie situation right now in Arizona. It's a really scary and intimidating story, and we don't have a lot of information. I think a lot of criticism out there right now is the information being provided by law enforcement, but we all know that these things are much more complicated than what is on the surface. Let's get to the man who knows some things. Paul Mauro, Fox News contributor, retired NYPD inspector and attorney, founder of the Ops Desk. Paul, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So I want to give you an opportunity to speak as somebody who understands law enforcement, to assess the work that is being done in presentation of information and facts to the media. What do we know, and what's your judgment on how that information has been presented?
Well, these, kidnapping cases have a lot of tension embedded in them relative to how much you can tell the public. First of all, you're guarding against copycats. That's, a main thing. You're going to get a million tips. That's another thing. One of the reasons that you hold back information is kind of the story that's embedded in the purported ransom note, which is, do they have either proof of life of some sort or details that demonstrate that you are dealing with the kidnappers? If you recall, they put into this supposed ransom note that they know what she was dressed, how she was dressed, and what the interior of the house looked like. Now, that is not completely dispositive, because it could be somebody that had been in the house previously or had managed to surveil the place. But short of that, you're looking to that kind of thing. If you're giving out all kinds of details and people start coming forward with tips, it's very hard to ascertain what is somebody just trying to be helpful, or is a nut, or is, in fact, the people that you want to deal with, or somebody who really has inside information. So it's one of the major reasons why you hold back salient information, so that you can validate what's incoming.
We're speaking with Paul Mauro, Fox News contributor. We, of course, you've been a very busy man here in the last 6 months in your coverage of all these different crime situations that we've seen in the national headlines. When you're watching a story unfold like Nancy Guthrie, I mean, obviously you don't have all the details as to what happened yet, because we're in the process of trying to discover that and hopefully recover Nancy Guthrie. Does this look like something that it plays out in a normal pattern? Are there things that you see right now that point you and your intuition towards one direction or the other?
So here in New York City, we get about a kidnapping a week in a city of 8.5 million people. And literally 99.99% of them turn out to be one of two things: either completely fake, somebody faking their own kidnapping, or some kind of family thing that involves custody of a child or something like that. The point being that stranger kidnappings for ransom are tremendously rare. And I know of one that happened about 15 years ago in New York, and the fact that I remember it and can validate that as a legitimate kidnapping shows you how rare they are. It was 15 years ago. You'd have to go back to the 90s before that to get one that was similar, in the sense that it is a kidnapping for money. And never mind involving a celebrity. The last one of those I remember, a celebrity family member, goes back to Frank Sinatra Jr., who was kidnapped in the 60s. And they ultimately paid the ransom. And, of course, they caught the guys, and the whole thing was just a knucklehead show. It was two sort of casino workers or something, if I recall. So my point is this: they're extremely rare. They almost always fall apart upon close examination. They turn out to be somebody very close to the situation who knew the person. It's revenge. It is a family thing that goes sideways. That doesn't mean it couldn't have happened here, because they do occur, as we all know. And, as many people have noted, it's a very common thing throughout South America and various areas of Latin America. And you are an hour from the Mexican border, so you have to entertain that as well. But I just would caution people on very fanciful theories here because, 99% of the time they end up being something a lot more prosaic.
Do we know for a fact that this is a kidnapping? I've heard that it is definitely a crime, that there was a crime scene involved. Is it possible that she wandered off somewhere, or maybe she went to a location and maybe something happened and they haven't recovered her yet? Like, do we know that this is kidnapping at this point?
Well, we don't, except for the fact that the police have been, surprisingly, it's one thing they have released. They've been unequivocal in saying that she was taken against her will, that she was abducted, and that it happened while she was sleeping. Now, that said, we don't know that it was a planned kidnapping. Another thing you have to entertain here is that it's a burglary gone bad. They went into the house thinking they were going to do a burglary. They didn't realize she was going to be there. She's there. Now you got a problem. It goes sideways. Who knows why they take her with them, but they do. All of that, though, presupposes the idea, I would argue, that the ransom note then is likely false. And, we have to entertain that as well because crypto is untraceable. Somebody following this story, which is obviously huge, could be sitting in Moscow and could say, you know what, let's take a shot. Let's say we're the kidnappers. We'll do some social engineering, see if she's been on social media or if Savannah has posted pictures of her on social media from inside the house. Let's use some of those details and try to give the ransom note the patina of veracity so that we can get paid here. And, we'll use a VPN. We'll use various cutouts that cyber-savvy people know how to do, and nobody's ever going to get to us. And who knows, maybe we can grab a couple of million in crypto here and further victimize this family.
I wanted to ask you a question. We're speaking with Paul Mauro, attorney, retired NYPD inspector, founder of the opsdesk.org and Fox News contributor, about advice that we can glean from this situation. I know that we've heard about the watch that was synced up to the pacemaker. I heard some discussion, I think it was on Outnumbered on Fox News today, about knowing the passwords and stuff for mom and dad who might be living on their own or whatever to be able to access devices. Do you have it, how helpful would it be if they could immediately get into that cell phone that she left behind? What kind of advice do you have for people right now about what they should know about their parents that are maybe living on their own?
Yeah, I seem to have started this meme. So, all I suggested was that, look, it's likely not going to work very well with kids because they'll change it behind your back. They don't want to give it, et cetera. But, a parent who is maybe elderly, getting up there a little bit, maybe not as sharp mentally as he or she used to be, what is the harm in either knowing the password, especially if you don't live with them, or asking them to write it down someplace that you know it is so that, God forbid, something happens either like this or they wander off someplace, you can access the phone because it's going to be a treasure trove. They're struggling with that now. Last I heard, they hadn't gotten into the phone. The FBI is involved, so they're very good at getting they call it jailbreaking the phone to see what's in there. And what you want to see is you're not necessarily going to get a threat or something, but you may get something like she had a dispute with a worker, or there's a guy who's continually in the house delivering groceries. Maybe she texted somebody that said, I don't like the way somebody is treating me. He seems to be hostile. Something that points you towards the idea that there's been somebody in that house who's aware of her circumstances and might have done this, especially when you consider the reporting is that the Ring camera, at least one of them, was ripped out.
Yeah.
So who knew to do that? Who knew it was there? And when was it ripped out? Did she text somebody and say, hey, I noticed my Ring camera is missing? Well, then if that's the case, that's likely your person. When did that happen? Now you can try to figure out, okay, when did that occur? Is that in the Ring camera? And if they can get to it, reportedly the Ring camera wasn't reporting to the cloud, which is a bad break. They're hoping it goes to a server. This is very common. Everybody in law enforcement has this story. We saw cameras. This is great. We're going to get great evidence. And then you go in there and it turns out that at some point it reset or somebody changed the password or the credit card got declined and now there's nothing in there. But these are the kinds of things that you're going to be looking at if you can get into that phone.
Yeah. And I would assume that you just really need one good tip in order to bust the whole thing open. And I guess we're waiting for that right now with Nancy Guthrie. Before we let you go, Paul Mauro speaking with us right now. Do you have any thoughts on how this story, how quickly we'll be able to know what direction this story is going to head into? Is there anything that you're leaning into, details that you're looking to see?
I mean, I wish I did, because I get the sense that they might not have a lot going right now, and they are looking for the kind of one big break that you're talking about. If I had to guess right now, if you say, okay, well, what's going to break this? And this is just a shot in the dark, I go to something vehicle related. Let's track it to the Brown University shooting, where ultimately they were able to place vehicles in the vicinity, and then using the license plate readers and the flock system, which tracks not only a license plate reader but a type of car, was how they were able to place the same car in the vicinity of both shootings from the Brown incident and ultimately get to who it appears was the perpetrator. The problem here is that it's a rural area where there are cameras. It's going to be dark at night because apparently they have some dark sky initiative where they don't put lights purposely. So a lot of cameras are not going to pick up a plate or even the shape of the car. And, you do have to admit the possibility here that even if you do get a shot of the car, you may only get the front of the car, which is very common with how these cameras are triggered. And Arizona is a one-plate state. That is to say, you only need a back plate. And so that happened in the Brian Koberger case. The only plate that they showed in the image that they got from the gas station was the front of the car, and there was no plate on it. And that ended up really costing them weeks in being able to button that up. So you have to hope here for a good, clear shot around the time of abduction. And I think that they have that pretty good. And they're going to have to put a pretty wide net because, as I said, it's a dark area. The cameras that are nearby may not capture anything. The ring cameras are set back from the road. They're not going to get a car. You're going to have to get a traffic camera, it feels like to me, someplace around there, and you may get hundreds, if not thousands. Hopefully they'll throw AI at it and do some real fast work to figure out, is there a car here that shouldn't be there? If I had to guess, a vehicle thing might be what breaks this, but I'm going on very thin information.
Well, God bless the Guthrie family, and hopefully we get a resolution, a happy one, eventually very soon. Paul Mauro, thank you for the time today. It's very valuable to our audience. We're grateful for it.
Anytime, man. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Fox News contributor, retired NYPD inspector, attorney, and founder of theopsdesk.org. I encourage you to check that website out. Paul's great. Certainly the man to be discussing this particular situation with at this time. All right, one break right now, and when we come back, Ryan will be back in studio with us. We've got Ethan Sports and Local at 2:18, and Ryan's going to finish up Wiggins America in the 2 o'clock hour as well. Give us your texts on the YouTube poll. You can text us at 314-241-9797. Here's the question. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? You vote on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll and the live broadcast right now. You can comment there, of course. You can also text us your thoughts, 314-241-9797. Back in a minute. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Of course, I've talked to you about how Matt Hayes can come help you with your wet basement issue and help rectify it, restore it, and give you the confidence so you can get rid of that pit in your stomach every time there's rain in the forecast. I know that the original house that my husband and I bought, we had a basement issue, and it was so stressful. Every time we would see that water was going to be in the forecast, especially like the heavy rains, you just knew that was going to have to be assessed. And, eventually when we had it taken care of, it was like, we don't have to worry about this any longer. Well, Home Shield Foundation Repair is there to give you that confidence when they repair your foundation. They get rid of your wet basement problems. That comes with a lifetime warranty. But with somebody who is very key to understanding unique situations and offering unique solutions with a tried and true method, Matt Hayes can help you with that foundation concern that you've been looking at. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. All right, I hate to say this. I know this hurts some people's feelings when I say this, but here I am. I got a beef to pick. No, you don't pick a beef. I've got a beef with President Trump, and I have a bone to pick with him. I'm gonna beef. To
Yeah,
pick
you
with.
do pick
You
a bone.
You could pick a beef.
You don't like bones and meat though, in general. So
I like to
you
keep
should
them
probably
separate.
just pick the beef.
Yes. Gosh, it's hard to do this now. I've destroyed this so much
You
that
really
I don't know.
screwed this up.
You've got a bone to pick with President Trump.
I do. I have a beef. He's not gonna like it because I'm smiling right now. So you were just talking off air about when I went to Washington D.C. and you were talking about wanting to be like to go and experience, and you and I have talked about ways that maybe we could make that happen for the show.
Mr. Andy goes to Washington.
Yeah. Is that you?
Never thought of it that way, but sure.
I can be.
If it includes a plane
I
ticket.
know. Basically, Ryan Wiggins said, "I'll do whatever I can do."
I wanna go.
He wants to go, so we're working on something. I am Mr. Andy. Mr. Andy goes, "Okay, if we make this happen, there's going to be a series."
Mr. Andy goes to Washington.
And I'm going to tell you that per our last conversation, I'm way more excited about the idea right now than I was originally when we first discussed it. We were talking about when I was at DC, and I told you guys, I just said right now off air, I said I've never felt more small than when I was at the White House. And I kind of hope that everybody feels that way when they're in the White House, like especially if you're working there in the capacity of any administration, that the breadth of history that has taken place there and the power that is wielded within those walls over the course of centuries now should make everybody feel small, I hope.
I want everyone to feel small around me all the time.
Well, we don't. So here is a conversation that took place in the Oval Office between Donald Trump and Caitlin Collins. Now, when I was at the White House and I was in the press room, multiple times I was in there with Caitlin Collins. She was in there, and I paid attention to her. I kind of like to watch people who I knew and recognized, and I knew and recognized a lot of reporters who were White House correspondents for maybe like lesser, or not lesser, but smaller, more independent media, Daily Wire, different types of things like that. But I watched Caitlin Collins. I watched some of the Fox people, NBC, whatever, and she carried herself like a very normal person. She looked like she knew what she was doing. She's obviously got an angle there. Okay, fine. But here's an exchange between President Trump and Caitlin Collins while President Trump is sitting at the Resolute desk.
On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the Department of Justice?
I didn't. I have a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know.
So just to interrupt here, Caitlin Collins is asking Donald Trump an Epstein files question where she names two names, Lutnick and Elon Musk. And she's like, have you read those files? Well, listen, folks, Donald Trump has not read the entirety of the Epstein files. He has other things to do, certainly. Now, he's going to be, if something is going to cause a hang-up or a jam-up for the president, he's going to be briefed on it. The question I have for Caitlin Collins is, were Elon Musk and Howard Lutnick, were they, like, exposed for doing something that was illegal and unlawful, or were their names just mentioned in it?
That's a fair question.
Because she knows the answer to that.
She knows.
And the answer is no. There's not a nefarious element to this, but they were named in them. That question is a charged question to Donald Trump because she knows that he likely has not read through these files. So she's asking an intentional question, which is kind of meant to be a gotcha question, maybe to just get President Trump to say something that is going to inflame the people who like Caitlin Collins.
You mentioned two names. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions.
So now she's going in. So she's shifted. She didn't push back and say, sir, these two individuals were accused of A, B, and C. Do you still have full support behind them? No, she shifts over to say, well, let's talk about the victims in this.
Came out. Some of them entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent?
The fact that they thought they released too much. I heard that, and you tell me something else. No.
So she shifts gears here. She moves the goalpost completely. You can see Donald Trump, he calls on her. She asks a question. She asks a follow-up question, which isn't a follow-up question. It's just part two of the time that she's taking from the president. Now he's going to get frustrated.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
So he has now said, by the way, everything that's been revealed here, it makes him look clean. And it also shows repeatedly that Epstein had it out for Donald Trump, that Epstein didn't like him at all. Now she's gonna go into what she does here.
People feel like they haven't gotten justice, Mr. President.
Something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say?
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they haven't gotten justice?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face.
I'm asking you about survivors.
You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. And you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
These are survivors of a sexual abuse.
All right, and then she's out. This is where I'm going to interject here. As a woman, I get so bothered. This is where Donald Trump would be like, see? I get so bothered when women are expected to smile. Smiling is an accessory that women are supposed to have. Can you imagine Donald Trump asking a male reporter in that room, how come you never smile? That would never even happen. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I could see him doing that.
You think Jim Acosta is in that room with him and Donald Trump's like, you know what? Jim Acosta doing his antenna, because I don't agree with Caitlin Collins' line of questioning at all. I think she deserved to be ridiculed in the way that you have to know that's coming when you're talking to Donald Trump in that capacity. But you never, ever, ever would have seen him go, Jim Acosta, how come you're never smiling?
No, let me split the middle and say that I think he could say it to a guy. He's much more likely to say it to a woman.
And society says it to a woman. And here's the thing. I just think that Donald Trump can ridicule in a classier, more direct way that doesn't go that route. I thought that was a cheap shot, and I think that he can be insulting in a better way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I sat at a desk. I worked at a radio company once where the general manager, I did 4 jobs. I was the mini Marco Rubio of this entity. But my desk, they placed me at the front desk. And I was doing billing things. I did audio production. I had to run the board for a certain portion of the day. I had to do affidavits for the company. And I would be down here, affidavits is the most boring thing you could ever possibly do.
Heck yeah, I hate the word.
I would be sitting there and I would be working, and he would walk in and he would look at me and he'd go, why aren't you smiling? You need to smile more. He started calling me Smiles. And I have never, ever, ever forgotten that. And I felt like I am busting my ass every day to do all the little things for all the people here that they don't want to do. And when you walk in, if my head's down in my desk and I'm not smiling, then somehow I deserve the nickname Smiles. I just think that is an instance where women working in a man's world, you're supposed to do all of that with a smile. Men are never held to that standard. Am I wrong? Do you guys disagree with me?
In this instance, I think she earned it. I think you're right. It's a cheaper shot than it needed to be. But in this instance, I think she earned it because she made an accusation about 2 people at the very beginning of that with some very horrible accusations by putting them side by side.
But
with
why
Jeffrey
would she
Epstein.
be smiling while she's talking about that? Why would her smile have anything to do with what she's doing?
No, I think that it's an appropriate response from Donald Trump because it was as equal of a cheap shot for her to say that about Elon Musk and Lutnick if she knew that they didn't have any accusations against them.
It's a sexist thing to say.
It just seems like there's an easier way for Trump to combat her dumb line of questioning that brings in names and then immediately jumps to victims, like you're linking those two things which aren't linked. There was a way for him to expose that without being like, you're not smiling enough.
And also, folks, there's a difference between being happy and smiling. Do you know what I'm saying? If he would have questioned, are you a happy person? I would feel differently about that than why aren't you smiling? She deserves ridicule. She deserves to be called out for moving the goalpost line of questioning. That particular thing, though, man, that's soapbox material for me. Sorry, President Trump. I'm smiling. Just wanted to let you know. 2 o'clock hour next. Don't go away.
as we discover the charm of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany with Colette Travel. Spend 4 nights in Bern and then 4 nights at the foot of the Alps in Innsbruck. From the cobblestone streets to the postcard-worthy mountain landscapes of the amazing Alps, we're going to explore the Swiss capital of Bern and lovely Lucerne, the Swiss paradise on the lake. We'll travel the Austrian countryside to Salzburg with a visit to Mozart's birthplace, and then Mirabelle Gardens featured in The Sound of Music. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details. The flights, the meals, the hotels, the local experiences. All you have to do is have the time of your life. Don't miss this trip. Meet me and the folks from Colette to learn more at the Lodge at De Pere, Tuesday, February 24th at 2 p.m. Call Colette at 800-581-8942 or go to 971talk.com/events for details.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777. A midterm roadblock at the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. An appeal has just been turned away by the High Court in a fight over California redistricting.
Without any noted dissents, justices denied an emergency appeal from California Republicans challenging the state's redrawn congressional map. The new map is likely to favor Democrats in the upcoming midterm elections. State leaders started the redistricting process in response to mid-decade redistricting by Texas lawmakers intended to add seats favored by Republicans.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. California sent the issue to voters who approved a ballot referendum replacing an independent redistricting commission. Several other states are also redrawing maps or considering it. The man convicted of trying to kill then-candidate Trump on a Trump golf course in Florida, Ryan Ruth, is sentenced to life in federal prison.
Now, there was no mention of mental health treatments while in jail, something the defense did push for. The last time we saw Ruth in the courtroom was for the verdict. Moments after he was found guilty, he tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. Today, security was tight. He was surrounded by 4 federal marshals with his wrists shackled at the waist. Notably, his kids were absent from the sentencing, and Ruth blew a kiss and winked as he walked out of the courtroom.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol at the courthouse in Fort Pierce. Ruth has 3 adult children. He had represented himself at trial, but for the sentencing phase used a defense attorney who plans to appeal. Top Democrats in Congress say proposed ICE changes are coming soon.
ICE is completely and totally out of control.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says immigration enforcement should be fair and humane. There are 9 days left before short-term funding for Homeland Security runs out.
And also, by the way, that bill includes TSA. It includes FEMA, it includes the Coast Guard, a number of agencies that are really important to our government.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune says Democrats need to negotiate with the White House. America is listening to Fox News.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly sunny skies, but the northwest flow still with us going through this Wednesday afternoon. 31 cold degrees. Tonight, clear skies and drop it down to 17. On Thursday, partly sunny. Very cold start Thursday morning, close to 40 in the afternoon. Friday continues to look great. Sunny skies, 49-50 for the high Friday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this
goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, on Monday, Ryan, Ethan filled in on Wiggins America for you. He still kind of throws a little mini tantrum.
Just picking the beef.
I'm a professional.
Temper tantrum.
Over that intro that you made him for Wiggins America.
But then it's doing its job.
I told him that he has the ability to create the most awesomest intro ever, and we'll just play that instead. And he said he didn't want to work that hard. And I was like, well.
That tracks.
And it's when he fills in for you. But he talked about the Grammys, and I said I wasn't going to talk about the Grammys. I didn't watch them. You can't just abstain from the Grammys. If you don't watch them, you're just going to get served up whatever
the dumbest things
gets dumped out of them, like
Yeah.
shaking out everything that exists there in the Grammys. Then stuff gets spit out. Did you pay any attention to them?
Only in the sense that you're talking about, where the crap that filtered through all the other crap fell to the bottom, and I got to see it.
Well, one of the things that we talked about a little bit on Monday was Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Now, Billie Eilish, she just it's her caricature type of a thing where she just looks like
sleepy,
strung out.
Just
yeah, both of those.
Maybe. I think she looks disgusted.
Okay.
Like
that too.
When if she were around me, I would be like, why don't you smile more?
We'll get to the texts later.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, people are texting in. 314-241-9797. Text me and tell me how I suck. I can handle it. But the push towards this Billie Eilish thing, which is no one is illegal on stolen land, I would counter that everybody is illegal on stolen land. But this is a report here. This is wild.
Isn't that ironic? Massive gates keeping people out. I thought Billy didn't believe in borders. Well, according to the driveway, Billy does believe in borders. She believes in massive gates keeping people out. A couple of cameras up there as well. The lights are on, so somebody must be home. Let us in, please, Billy. We are here because this is stolen land, Billy. And
This is Ben Leo of GB News.
we think we should be given access to your quite lovely $3 million mansion. And such is Billy's concern for security and privacy. It's surrounded by pretty decent security fencing. Very nice indeed. Massive security hedges as well.
So apparently the tribe whose land Billie Eilish now lives on has offered to evict her. Now, this is pretty crazy.
It's generous
here.
of them.
I think she thought, I'm just going to say the obvious thing that people want to hear here, and we'll just, go on with our day. Nick Sorter reports one of LA's top eviction law firms is offering to evict Billie Eilish from her home for free on behalf of the Tongva tribe.
That's also very generous of that law firm.
Yes. Eilish's admission that she lives on stolen land gives the tribe a rightful action for possession as the true owner of the property, Sinai law firm said. So, your move, Billy.
Now, look, I'm not a huge fan of every single time anything happens signing an executive order. However, I would support if the president would sign one that said the media has to play that sound bed from that reporter under every single report, no matter what.
Yeah, it would make us really sift through and take certain things more and less seriously.
Yeah, I think the nation would benefit. We'd come together.
I don't want to follow Billie Eilish. Every once in a while, she has a song come out, and I think it's great.
I do too. I like her music.
I can't take her sequentially because she doesn't say all the letters in the words when she sings.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, you drop some consonants in your lyrics.
It's all deliberate.
What Was I Made For was a song that we talked about yesterday, and I think that's a brilliant song. Its position in the movie Barbie, which I've told you, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Annie, what? I finally watched Barbie way after it had Barbie Mania had taken the country by storm, along with Oppenheimer, which I've also watched. I was sick one day. I was probably like a year ago, and I laid in bed and I watched the movie Barbie on my phone the whole time because I couldn't find the remote for the TV in my room. So I was like, oh, heck, I'm not rolling over to find that thing. I was telling myself.
Speaking of Ethan not working.
I could do it. I was sick.
Oh,
I was
okay.
voiceless.
Oh, okay. Hey.
I'm laying in bed, ill, at home by myself, watching the movie Barbie, and that song came on, and I sobbed. I sobbed. I'm not really a crier. I'm not that person. That movie is wonderful, especially if you're somebody who's in kind of my time in life where you're mom to a growing kid, a teenage girl. I'm just telling you, if you watch it, be prepared. Because I was like, fine. I'll watch this movie and see what everyone's talking about. And I've watched it multiple times since. But Billie Eilish has a great song in that movie. It's very well placed. She goes out there and says, it's always my favorite when they're like, I don't really have anything to say, but, and then you say something real, like the thing that's going to be the news story for the rest of the week. Oh, you should have stayed with the I don't have anything to say, Mark. No one is illegal on stolen land. Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
I don't think that she thought through the implications of what she said.
I don't think that she considered she'd have to.
Because it's just such an obvious. It's like when Cori Bush, for instance, did this. I think she said about having
spoke without thinking
about having security and how the nation, not having walls, and there's all these people that said this, and they live in mansions. I'm not saying that's her, but just they would say the nation shouldn't be so unwelcoming. And then you go find out they live in a place that is surrounded by like a 10-foot wall.
That's for them, not for us.
Exactly. But this is another one of those that will live with her for a pretty long time, just like Katy Perry kissing the ground.
Yeah, Miss global warming.
Yep.
Hey, you want to go to space for like an afternoon? Sure. Let's go.
Okay. How much fuel? No, don't worry about it. Okay.
I'm not telling Billie Eilish that she needs to smile because that would be super hypocritical of me after doing a segment where the president told Caitlin Collins after an ignorant line of, not an ignorant line of questions. That's not even fair to Caitlin Collins because she knows exactly what she's doing. It's not ignorant. She doesn't, she's well thought out in what she's doing, and she's probably serving her purpose there well. But the president has a right to call her on her line of questioning. What do you hear from the left over and over and over again? Epstein files. They have a glitch in their system where the news cycle goes around and they're like, Epstein files. President Trump is not implicated in the Epstein files. And it is mind-blowing to think that he would have been implicated in the Epstein files and that during the 4 years of Joe Biden's presidency, while they were trying to put him in jail, and then, of course, he runs for re-election, and we all know how that story ended. To think that Donald Trump would have been implicated and they would have had access to those files and they wouldn't have pinned him to the wall because of it. Pfft. So Caitlin Collins in the Oval Office is trying to pin him down, and his response is, hey, how come you never smile? I just thought you could do better than that, President Trump. You have texts?
Oh, I got some texts about smiling.
All right.
This one says, Annie, if you were the first, so it's addressed to you, just let's be clear.
Okay. Yeah,
if
not
you were,
Mr. Annie. Goes to Washington.
If you were the first person.
You're going to walk around with the weirdest toothy grin the entire time. You're going to get arrested for being creepy.
But you don't like smiling? Smiling's my favorite.
Okay.
Annie, if you were the first person that people see when they walk through the front door at a business, then yes, you should be smiling. That has nothing to do if you're a woman or not. There's another one. Annie, addressed to you.
Yeah, I could tell by when
Annie,
you said my name.
Would it have been better if POTUS had said, turn that frown upside down?
Yeah.
Would it?
Because it would have been identifying her current mood, not her existence as somebody who doesn't smile enough for the liking of other people around her.
This one says, I think it was less about the smile and more about that she is a miserable person. And all she does is lie and spread nonsense.
This is my point. If he would have been like, you're a really miserable person, that to me is different than him noticing how often she smiles. And I'm just saying that is not a criticism that would ever be levied towards a man. Ever.
That same person later, a couple minutes later, actually said, "We love Annie."
You're a liar.
No, they did. I can tell because their number, but I don't know who they are.
I just want to defend myself a little bit in the story that I told before we went to the last break. When I was sitting at the desk that was located in the front of this office, I seriously was doing at least 3 full-time jobs. And I wasn't always there. But if I were sitting at my desk, which of the 8 hours plus the 30-minute lunch that I often had to work through because I had to sit next to the phones to answer because the other people didn't want to answer the phones. And I'd answer it like, "What do you want?" No, I didn't do that. Sorry. But I'm smiling. When I would sit there, it would maybe be for a couple hours. And I would have to be doing administrative paperwork that anybody could do. And so I wasn't even like facing the door. It was like an L-shaped desk. I was to the side. I had paperwork all over the place. But I guess I should have paused what I was doing every time someone walked in and just been like,
I think you should just smile like a clown all the time into your computer so that you never knew.
Like this one?
If anybody was watching you, you'd just be like,
does this look on my face right now make you think that I'm a happy person?
How about this one? It says, "I think Annie is projecting her feelings onto the situation with Miss Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Smiling is a universal method of projecting pleasantry.
Mm-hmm.
It is not feminine or masculine. POTUS was implying that she was an unpleasant person."
Then he should have said that.
Mm.
I'm all for criticizing Caitlin Collins. I'm not really defending anything about her. It's not really about her. I don't think it's ever. Trisha, is Trisha here? Trisha, come
Don't
here.
bring Trisha into
Yelling
this.
Trisha really loud.
Are there any women in the building at RSC St. Louis?
They're
Women, ladies.
And listen, they're probably all walking
Ladies?
around smiling, just having a great time, and now they're concerned. Oh, no, I got to go do something.
Ethan just said Trisha left. Ethan told her to leave because she wasn't smiling enough.
Trisha, get out of here while the getting's good. You're about to go on air.
Okay, fine. Ethan also commented, correct. All right, let's get Ethan Sports and Local in here, and I'll just spend the time trying to bank some smiles here on the
You
YouTube
can't
live
bank
broadcast.
them. It doesn't
I
work
can.
that way.
Yes, I can. I can do
Later,
whatever
if
I
you're
want.
mad, I'm not going to be like, well, she smiled once, though.
Well, that'd be your problem, not a me problem.
No.
See? Can you guys hear my smile when I'm talking like this? I'm so happy. You can tell because I'm smiling.
Oh, you're going to want to hear this from the text line. Just came in. That's it. I'm saying, why don't you smile more to every man I see the rest of the day today? Great idea, Annie.
Do it. And they're going to look at you like, well, never mind. We'll be right back. Todd Sivia Law, 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. We got to talk with Todd this week about different things you might want to know about planning an estate. And I want to remind you right now that he has, you can go onto his website and you can see different times that they have seminars coming up. And these seminars do fill up. I went to Sivia Law right now, civialaw.com, clicking on events, and you can see February 9th, they're in Collinsville, Illinois at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. February 10th, they have one in Wright City, Missouri, 12:30 and 2:30. February 18th in Warrenton, Missouri, and February 19th in Belleville. These are free. You don't have to pay anything to sign up. You just got to let them know that you're coming. So for folks around Collinsville, Wright City, Warrenton, and Belleville, in February, they've got these seminars coming up, and I would love for you to go sign up right now for this free event. Tell them Annie sent you. 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. You can find them online at civialaw.com.
Wait, Corey from Air Comfort Service? What are you doing in my basement?
Standing behind our work.
It's 9 p.m.
At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation, we take pride in our work. If you need heating service, no matter the time of day or night, we're here to help with 24/7 emergency service.
So, you're just going to stand behind my furnace?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you hand me those paper towels then?
Absolutely. For heating service or HVAC maintenance, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
One man, one segment, one chance at stardom. American Ethan.
I'm so glad I was here for that one.
Ryan, when you do work, it's funny.
Thank you. I hate doing work, though. It's so boring. But there's a payoff.
American Ethan! Oh, yeah!
Thank you. Thank you.
I've been waiting for that one for like 2 weeks.
Here it is.
That was
Yay.
good. I enjoyed that.
What do you got for us?
The St. Louis Blues have made a trade. The Olympic break is about to start, so it is not the trade deadline that is occurring today, but there is a trade freeze where for those 3 weeks while the Winter Olympics are going on, no team is allowed to make any moves, and then there will be a couple of weeks before the trade deadline. So there were a couple of moves that got made today, and the Blues were one of the teams that made a trade. Their fourth-line center, Nick Bjugstad, someone they had signed in the offseason to a 2-year deal. He's had a pretty good season with St. Louis when he's been healthy. He has been traded to the New Jersey Devils for a 4th-round pick as well as an AHL, which is basically minor league prospect. Let's see. And his name is Thomas Bordolo. So I don't know anything about this guy, but
Your chance at American greatness is waning.
But honestly,
I love that your report is, I got nothing.
It was awful.
What I was trying to point out is that he is not a massively highly regarded prospect or anything. He is a mid-level prospect.
You just called him mid.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I literally did.
What does this signify for the Blues?
Who would win
It's the start of the beginning. It's
in a face-off?
the beginning of
this guy or Ryan Wiggins?
Well, I imagine it would still probably be Thomas.
What about if it was face-off in the same way that people were cutting off each other's faces and wearing them, like in those movies?
Ryan, knock it off.
Nobody wins if they get your face.
Wow.
Ouch. Ouch.
It
Now that was just mean.
signifies the beginning of the end.
Uh-oh. That sounds bad.
Really?
It's the beginning of the sell-off. That's what
Okay.
it is. They're going
All
to
right.
sell off some pieces at this trade deadline,
Okay.
and that's the first one of the dominoes to fall.
Ryan's like, all right.
All right. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
A lot of fans are kind of on board the Blues are tanking right now train because it's been so bad as of late, and they had the most tanking game ever 2 nights ago against the Nashville Predators, where only 24 minutes into the game, they were winning 5-1. It was a beatdown in Nashville, and they lost that game 6-5. They allowed the last 5 goals of the game and did not get any points for that one. So just ridiculous. They were one of 3 teams in the last, I believe it's 50 years in the NHL to lose 2 games in which at one point they were leading by 4 goals.
What is more insulting to an athlete, to be called bad or to be said that they're tanking, that they're not trying anymore?
Man, I mean, they're both are pretty bad.
Yeah, but which one's badder, Ethan?
Tanking.
I'm going to be honest. I'm selectively listening to this segment.
All you need to do is stay over there and just keep on smiling, Annie. You are doing great.
Thank you. I'm talking to the Madison County
By the way,
Democrat
a texter says, when you smile, it shows you have courtesy and respect for others, and you're a good person.
For men.
You know what? That's very pleasant.
When you frown.
That's
Here's
a nice
a
text.
question I'm going to add. Okay. Should men and women be treated exactly the same?
You missed X's and Y's.
Hey, what's the matter with your face?
I'm just curious.
What is the face you're making right now?
I think I might have hit on a really good point here.
Why are you talking like that?
I guess we're just all going to have to consider what I just said.
I'm assuming that you probably got your bachelor's degree in gender studies, didn't
Ryan's
you?
been drinking.
Water and yoo-hoo.
Sugar. He's had sugar.
Well,
sugar water.
I have a good reason for people to be smiling.
Oh, yeah?
The SLU Billikens
Even the women?
won their 16th straight game last night.
16th straight.
16 straight for the Billikens.
What's the record?
22-1.
Nice. Good work, Annie. The Billikens were losing last night at one point by 13. They were down 46-33 late in the first half, but strong second half showing ended up keeping the streak alive. This was a good character win. Their best player, Robbie Avila, who we discussed last time we were talking about the Blues. As well, Annie, I think you mentioned him as the ovulator. And
the fans of the Ovulation Nation.
They don't deserve this.
Nope, that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was a little under the weather last night, so he did play.
But he was under the weather.
He's a little. Thank you, Brad. He was a little under the weather, so he wasn't 100% last night. So after the high,
so terrible.
After the high of the way in which they won the Billiken Blizzard game last Friday and all the celebration and media attention that came with that, this was a good character win. Davidson's a good team, and they found a way to get out of there with a W and move to 22-1 on the season.
Can I just say that having SLU just kicking it into high gear like this is the most exciting thing happening in sports in St. Louis right now, by far.
By far.
Because we have both of our major franchises right now are in full rebuild. At the same time.
Correct.
That's I mean, they have to do it. I understand the Cardinals are really embracing it, which I like to see. But it's something to cheer for. I mean, SLU is awesome right now. It's very fun.
Yeah, it is very fun, and hopefully it continues on and it ends up being an entertaining NCAA tournament showing. But we'll have to wait and see on that. This got announced yesterday, and there's not a bunch of information out on it yet. It was like I said, it was solely really just the announcement. But St. Louis is going to be one of the hosting sites for the 2028 Summer Olympics for soccer.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So they are going to be one of 6 cities in the country that will be hosting some of the group stage matches that will lead up to the knockout games. So pretty exciting that St. Louis gets to show off this beautiful new facility that they have in Energizer Park. And, we're going to be able to bring in some tourism as a result of that. Hopefully they have time to clean things up a little bit before then.
I saw a post about this, and I saw the other stadiums that they mentioned, and Energizer Park is just – it's as good, if not better, than any of the other locations there. It's kind of a hidden jewel. If you haven't seen the city play, go watch a game. It's a great little park.
Yeah, it is, and I would back that and say that I would encourage that as well. Annie, are you a Tim McGraw fan?
Yes.
Well,
seemed like a weird turn, but okay.
You're going to have your chance to see him.
Exciting.
September 17th, he is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
And the day after my birthday. You think he cares?
No.
I don't either.
Okay.
What if he sang happy birthday on stage for you?
If it was specific to me, then that's fine. You can't just sing the song.
Oh, okay. Has to be for Ryan Wiggins. Pre-sale opens up on February 4th, so that is today. Pre-sale opened up 4 hours ago.
Awful.
That's what I provide.
What is your problem?
I'm Simon Cowell.
Yeah, yeah. It's
a bit. I'm doing a thing. We're having a good time,
What's
right?
it called? Ethan's Idol? Is that what it is?
American Ethan.
American Ethan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You want more?
Maybe music.
Brad,
or
cue it.
All right.
Thank you. That was efficient. Sorry, Steve. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Two sounds that can wreck your sleep. A drip and a toilet that won't stop running.
Drip, drip, all night.
Good news. We're doing plumbing now. Same folks, same care, same we do it right.
Leaky faucet, running toilet.
Or a stubborn clog, call Grasser.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, how did Ethan do, is a question separate from the poll. I want to make that clear.
Poll.
I know. I'm making that very clear right now.
You're making it absolutely not clear.
The question is for the poll, though. I want to know about that other one separately, but you can text in 314-241-9797. The poll is, what should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Right? I made that pretty clear. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? So you let us know on YouTube. We're going to give you the results within a half hour, probably about 20 minutes.
I'm not
before
smiling.
The end of the show. I was just trying to get you to laugh. Just trying to, oh, you're doing the opposite of smiling now. You're making crazy face.
This is just my face.
No, it's not.
Do the time check.
Not. 2:33.
He doesn't seem very smiley either. Why aren't you giving him crap? He was real bossy to you. Tell him to smile.
Brad, don't love the way that you said that. 2:33.
No, tell him to smile.
Why don't you smile more, Brad?
There you go.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
Annie was saying it, though. 2:33, this time check. 2:34, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Ryan, have you ever been told to smile more?
No, because I smile all the time.
It's probably true.
I do smile
You're
a
not.
lot.
You're a I don't want to say this because it sounds too nice, but like a pleasant face guy.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I don't know.
I
if
just
you-
look like a dummy.
Well,
People are like, oh, that guy looks like he's real simple.
that guy looks just happy to be here. You've never had anyone tell you to smile? How would you
I don't
feel if
think
you
so.
were around your wife and she was having a bad day and someone came up to her and be like, hey, why don't you smile more?
I would think that they were one of those, like the old man from Home Alone 2, that guy. That guy probably walks around telling people to smile all the
The
time.
old from Home Alone 2?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Home
you
Alone
went too
2.
deep for me.
Yeah, the guy that owns the toy shop. That guy.
Donald Trump?
To me, no.
Well, he's the one who started this.
Oh, yeah, the old guy from Home Alone 2 who owns the hotel. Whoever that guy is, he can say it all he wants.
If you watch it on TV, I think they cut him out.
They do cut him out. You know, have you ever watched Little Rascals?
The newer one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know his role in that movie?
He's in the stands with Whoopi Goldberg, maybe? Is he in the
Yes.
stands at the end? He's the dad of
He
the
ends
rich
up being the dad of the bad guy. Sort of bad guy.
Don
The kid.
Jr.?
Yeah. I guess it would have been. It's a funny twist at the end that you find out, oh, it's Donald Trump's dad.
Yeah. Trump's.
Trump's dad.
Brad, you've been told to smile more?
Yeah, about 3 to 4 times a week, every week for the past year.
By whom?
Oh, just every different people that I run
You're
across.
kidding me.
No, I'm dead serious.
How do you even interact with that many people?
What do you mean? How do I interact with that people?
Who? Okay, give us an example.
Well, at church on Sunday, I interact with hundreds of people.
And they say to you to smile more?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah. You used to smile more. Why don't you smile more anymore?
Oh, okay. All right. So you're just mad at everybody.
Yeah, it's
for coming to church.
angry.
Mhm.
I just think I've never heard a man have that problem, but do you take it personally?
Not in the same way that you do. Because I think
he's running the
it's-
soundboard, and
Yeah.
he keeps during the service keeps going. Ooh.
No, I don't run the soundboard.
Yeah, are you scowling? I think I was, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't really happy about the affidavits. I wasn't a happy person because of what I was doing. It wasn't like a life thing.
I do kind of go out of my way to smile at people when I pass them, though.
I have a practiced, active face, my resting face when I'm in public that I have to work on because I have an expressive face, and my eyes and my eyebrows and my mouth can say things that my brain is thinking without me having to say words. Not really for radio purposes, but just I have an expressive face. So I have to sit and practice this kind of like, I don't know, Ryan, like what you look like all the time. This just aloof, like, I'm just happy to be here. This is my face.
You know what I get a lot?
Kind of a closed mouth.
Is you probably are really strong, but you wear baggy clothes. I get that a ton. My gosh. From people all over the place. Church, like Brad said, gyms.
The people who are telling him he needs to smile more are like, you're a muscly man.
You look like you're all muscly under there. But I try to hide it.
Jackie says, same, Annie. Thank you, fellow lady. When you're not expressive, people think there's a problem. So you have to be expressive.
That's accurate.
Even if you have to like be fake expressive, not because you're trying to hide something, you're trying to keep people from inferring something that isn't there.
You know what it is? I believe this about the human race, that everybody in the world, to a degree, is a little bit insecure.
Everybody's insecure.
And that they want you to make sure that you're telling them without having to say anything, hey, it's all right.
That's why you sit around and you just do this.
So when you do that, people go, oh, okay.
You think
I'm a good person.
You're a good person.
Because this person's an idiot.
Have you
muscular.
ever met somebody who had like an RBF situation and you got to know them and you're like, wow, that's like the nicest person I've ever met. But they just have that look of them.
I'm thinking of a couple people who have RBF,
But are
RBFs.
One of them's me.
So, no, I can't think of that particular thing. You?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. Also, I don't I don't not like, but I feel way more comfortable around people who just seem like they're not honestly doing the like face thing that I'm trying to do more of, because I guess I'm trying to come a little bit more to the middle. I just kind of like to see, like, what you see is what you get. If you're around somebody and, you know, like, you'll get into a situation where you kind of, maybe you get to spend a little extra time with somebody because maybe you're like joined up in something new together, and you realize that the person who they've been just in passing all the time, that maybe they're very two-faced about things, and you're like, okay, I've learned something here. But you can, in the converse, also meet someone and find out that whatever that presentation that you saw, like, gosh, I just really judged that incorrectly. This is a really kind, nice person. Kind of makes you think about, like, other people you're judging just on the surface. Because I'm constantly assessing situations. I try to be reserved in public. I never know if people know what I do for a living. I presume that if they were to find out, that they'd hate me. And that has happened before, but on the whole, so many more people are way more normal than, like, what if you're steeped in the politics and the conversations all the time. People are way more normal than when we are in our little lane here and driving at a fevered pace. People just aren't like that. And I will say this too. I was thinking about this on the way into work today, because I was having a conversation with somebody I had a meeting with this morning, and it came up what I do, and I needed to, I don't remember what the specifics was while I was talking about it, but it came up about what I do, and I was like, oh, and I always say something to the extent of, like, if you're not familiar with the show, that's totally fine. And if you do end up listening, I don't know where you are, but I just want you to know it's a news politics show, and if what I do is not for you, I totally respect that. It'd still be fun to be friends. You know, say something like that. And more, I'm running into people having these conversations with just random people where it has nothing to do with my show or specifically my politics. And then I talk to them, and they do know about the show, and they're like, I'm totally on their side. And they're young women.
Interesting.
It blows my mind. And the way they say it to me is they kind of present it like they want to tell somebody. Like they've been holding the secret inside. One of these individual women, who I would assume is very early 20s, was like, they started listening after Charlie Kirk was shot. They knew what I did, but they never tuned in. They didn't know anything. Like, they didn't even know I was talking about news and politics. And after Charlie Kirk was shot, they tuned in. They're like, I want to see what that's about. And she was like, so happy to have something like this to listen to, but also very private about her peers and coworkers finding out that she was actually on this side of the aisle.
Isn't that kind of a cross-section of what's happened in America over the last 10 years?
I think so.
People
but I don't think with young women.
That's significant. I'm not saying it's not. It's just there's so many groups of people who would not have considered themselves, or individuals, politics interested at all.
Yeah, but they've been ripped into it.
You've been pulled into it because society's making you. You have to stand up for something at some point, and they're going, okay, that's my thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Completely and totally anecdotal of experiences that I'm having in my life, but I was refreshed by that. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll get the results of the YouTube live chat poll when we come back, and the rest of Wiggins America here. Oddly satisfying things that make introverts happy. We'll find out what the rest of those are with Ryan and the results of the poll. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Before we wrap things up and hand it over to Mark Reardon, coming up next.
One FM Talk with you. The voices you trust, Mark Cox, Annie Fry, Mark Reardon, Scott Jennings, and more are just a tap away with the Odyssey app. Stream 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
You don't hear POD very often.
No way.
I love it. Do you like POD?
No way.
Alive?
That song's all right. Yeah, that's okay.
Why are you angry about them?
I just don't like them because I had a friend who was super into them, and I was just like, I'm too cool for this stuff.
Happier about it. Like,
smile more.
I did. I smiled when I told him he sucked.
Oh, made you feel good inside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the smile is all that matters, so good job. Good work.
Thanks.
Wiggins America from 1245, we began the oddly satisfying things that make introverts happy. We're going to wrap that up here with Ryan in just a second. The YouTube live chat poll, if you so choose. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Big question there. The filibuster, of course, standing in the way from the Republican majority in the Senate from getting some things done. That is why the filibuster is there. The question is, should they get rid of it completely, get rid of it selectively, implement a standing filibuster where they must hold the floor, or nothing, leave as is? I encourage you, before you vote, to think about what will the Democrat majority do the next time that they have the access to it. So go vote, and we'll give you those results here in 7 minutes.
Things that make introverts happy. We got through 2 of them. The first one was unexpected alone time. The other one was finding the perfect headphones-only zone, which we all kind of went, I understand it.
I like
it.
it.
You liked it.
I like it.
It's not. I just want time.
Yeah.
Alone, or you know what it means to be alone with somebody?
Yes. Yeah.
That's okay too.
I don't do that a lot, other than maybe just with my wife. But
that would be nice.
It's fine. Yeah, it's great sitting by the fire, just reading or writing or whatever. But she has a lot of friends who she can do that with. Just sit there and read books with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get that. Number 3 is...
You go in there and sit and ask questions.
I just sit in the middle of the floor and I'm like, somebody give me some string cheese.
The white or the yellow and the white?
Surprise me.
I'm not doing the rest of it. We're not doing the same.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, we did this whole exact bit in the 12 o'clock hour. We're just redoing it.
You say we did it as a bit. It just happened.
Free material.
It wasn't written.
No, but now it is.
Anyway.
Having a solo dance party. This is totally you, Annie. Oddly satisfying part of dancing like no one's watching is that everyone's watching, but you're not caring about it. The satisfying thing is that it's liberating, and it feels like it's breaking free from social norms. You're embracing your weirdness and loving every second of it.
If I'm going to dance, I want to be with my friends or with Jared. I don't need to. There's not a part of me that's trying to creep out, but needs to be in private.
You don't like to dance like nobody's watching while you're cooking, baking, getting flour everywhere. But this is what they do in movies. All right. Guess you're not an introvert then.
Yeah, I guess we solved that problem.
The next one is watching the flame of a mesmerizing candle.
Oh.
I actually do like kind of watching this.
I'll lay on the couch and watch the fire.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, I don't know that I watch candles as much as I do watch the fireplace.
I don't really have them in my house right now.
I'll watch a candle.
A dangerous situation. Not with a 4-year-old, but with a 16-year-old boy. What can we set on fire?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is we
bed.
live in an old 1800s house that has no lights and is haunted. So we only have candles.
That's a lie. So next.
Wrapping yourself in a blanket burrito.
Ooh, I'm a big blanket fan. I have a weighted blanket on my bed. So we have flannel sheets, one comforter, and then this weighted blanket that I double up over my side because Jared wants nothing to do with that. But the physical weight, so I don't worry about the burrito portion of it so much, but definitely weight and security via blankets is lovely.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
like the feeling of being bound up.
I like only wrapping myself in a blanket if
This
it's
is gonna be a
also
lie.
full of
Full crab.
cheese and
Full
rice.
crab. Nope.
All right.
No.
That's
No.
Seaweed,
no.
rice.
If you can't get through the commitment to the joke, and I can tell that soon it's going south, you got to do better than
Let's
that.
do the string cheese thing again.
We will at 3:05 in
Oh
front
my
of
gosh.
Steve, so then he'll ask us to explain
That'd be
ourselves.
so funny. A perfectly timed phone battery death is a good thing for you.
No, I don't.
I don't like that either.
That doesn't make me feel comfortable.
That drives me crazy. But the implication is you don't like responding to anything. You like to just be left alone.
Well, I feel comfortable and in control of my phone usage, but I still need to be able to talk to my kids, especially now that Charlie's driving. It's more like I need to be accessible, but I don't necessarily need to be on it.
This one is similar. The inbox zero victory. Achieving that rare state, of inbox zero.
I have maybe 5 email addresses here. antifryshow@gmail.com. 8,555
Oh,
unread messages.
gosh, now you're bragging.
Am I?
You got so many friends.
Yeah. Google Ads. I got stuff from Twitch here. I've got a lot of press releases, my Lord in heaven. I don't know how. Yeah. My actual personal email address that I use for communication with schools and stuff, 3,314 unread emails.
No kidding.
Yeah. And then the junk one that I use to sign up for everything, you guys have those, right?
Yep.
15,009. You don't?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I don't sign up for much.
15,954 unread emails.
Wow.
I've got 21,280 unread emails.
This is why we need more data centers.
Don't tell anybody here. My unread work emails, 17,696.
You hear that, St. Charles? Data center coming to you soon because we need it for Annie and Brad.
Most of my unread emails are from Dave Murray.
Okay, me too.
Because he sends all of these weather updates every day, and I get them.
We all do.
And I don't read them. I listen to them because I listen to 97.1 all day, sometimes on the Odyssey app, because I can take it with me anywhere I go. Don't talk about doing radio. Stop it.
The look on his face says it.
I'm just smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that's enough.
Having the perfect witty comeback. Have you ever delivered a clever and hilarious comeback to an imagined conversation long after it's happened?
Wait.
I do this all the time with this show.
Wait. Like just thinking it later?
Yeah, thinking it later.
Oh, no, it's got to be in the moment.
Yeah.
It's a form of self-empowerment where you reclaim past awkward moments and transform them into comedic gold. I feel like this is dipping into a little bit beyond introversion. This odd satisfaction arises from introverts' tendency to replay social interactions in our minds.
I do that, but I am not. I don't.
You're always the winner.
No, that's not true. My social interactions is usually like, I won that one a little too hard. I should have lost that one and reclaimed some of my dignity. I got a lot of things to say, and I say more of them than most people do. So, not always a plus.
The last one, and then Brad, before we get to this, where do you fall on this? Do you find yourself to be an introvert or extrovert?
No,
extrovert.
I'm still extrovert.
I would have figured.
But
you
some
were.
of these things I like.
The last one is the right quote at the right time. Finding a book quote that perfectly reflects your current mood or situation seems
Then what do
almost
you do?
impossible. It feels like having a conversation with an understanding friend.
You sit, Annie, and you reflect on it.
Just feel good about myself and sit there in stupor and smile so everybody thinks
And
I'm
laugh
a worthwhile person.
at how you destroyed someone earlier.
Poll results?
205 votes on today's YouTube live
Destroyed
chat
someone.
poll. What should the GOP Senate majority do with the filibuster? Back-to-back days of pretty even results here. 15% say that they should get rid of it selectively. 24% say nothing, just leave it as is.
1/4 of our audience say leave it be.
27% say get rid of it completely, and the most votes say 34% standing filibuster.
That's my
hold
vote.
floor.
Standing. What do you think, Ryan?
I think get rid of it selectively or standing,
Brad?
somewhere between
Standing
there.
filibuster.
Ethan?
Stand
for the people. Mark Reardon next here on 97.1. Keep it on your radio, on your streaming. He'll be in here next.